Uh, uh,
Why is there construction at this hour? Melee carry, nuker, disable, durable, escape, initiator. Dude, this guy does everything. Swashbuckle, dashes to a new position. Ah. Rest in peace, legacy users. It's gonna be so weird to get used to. Shield crash seems very, very good. I wish there were some values on how much damage reduction he gets, because he'll be really fucking tanky if you try to gank him. Fully negate enemy armor. I guess this is a passive. Magic, Immune Ball, and Thunder's Forward. Damaging and stunning any enemies he hits. Shield Crash can also be used while this ability is active to jump over obstacles. He has a brief channeling period. There is a jackhammer outside my room. I forgot that we're undergoing construction right now. We're remodeling the house. I think looking at this, looking at his abilities, he doesn't strike me as a carry. I feel like he'll do better as a mid laner or off laner, because it looks like he can do damage without having much in terms of farm. He just needs to survive. And Dark Willow is support, nuker, range support. Okay. Bramble Maze creates a maze of brambles that latch onto enemies who walk into a thicket. Okay, so this is like a large Leshrac stun. Oh, but it's... Oh, okay, I see how it is. There's a set pattern to it. I wonder if you can weave your way through it if you carefully walk through. Shadow Realm becomes untargetable, gaining increasing bonus magic damage for her next attack as long as she remains in the shadow. So this is like Puck's phase shift, except you get a move while doing it. This is like a free Ghost Scepter, but it's better than a Ghost Scepter on her hero. And then Cursed Crown bestows an enemy a Cursed Crown. After a 4-second delay, the target... Dude, what? This disable is sick. You can combo this shit in a lot of different ways. This is really cool. The range is pretty big too. Alright, Bedlam. Her companion, Jek, circles around her, dealing damage. Cannot be used while Terrorize is activated. Cannot be used while Bedlam is active. So I guess her ultimate is like a 2-part thing. It's Allows her to fear, but it also allows her to do the wisp spirits, I guess. Dude, this thing does so much fucking damage. Dude. This looks so strong for her fucking Darkseer setup. Her Bedlam is at 14. Wait, is this on test client already? Is that how you know? Alright, anyways, that's pretty cool. I mean, her skills definitely synergize with... Not only does it synergize with herself, it synergizes with others as well. I mean, think about it. You can use Bedlam and just Shadow Realm people. Or Bramble Maze someone, and then by Blink, Bedlam Shadow Realm. Or Shadow Realm Bedlam for your next magic attack. Or the other way around, if you don't need the damage, you just want to dance around people with this. Alright. I don't care. Next. Ranked seasons. In this update, we reworked how the matchmaking rating system works for both ranked and unranked, changing to a 6-month seasonal system. These regular seasons will ensure that MMR is both recent and accurate for all players. During each season, all players will earn a medal for their profile based on peak skill for that season. There are 7 different medals. And each medal, there are 5 stars. Oh, man, we league now. Sick. Your current medal, blah, blah, blah. Okay, at the start of each season, all players will recalibrate MMR seeded by their previous season MMR. Your current historical preseason MMR value will also be recorded and selectable in your profile, and ranked players will continue to be able to track their current seasonal MMR. To give everyone a chance to prepare, the first season will begin in 2 weeks. Oh, sick. I'm ready to grind, boys. Yo, Wilson, you wanna analyze this with me? They are not specific about what she is untargetable from. Sven was able to stun her, but it just says she's untargetable. Okay, so I guess what that means is you can be hit by things like AoE stuns and whatnot, but you, as a target, you can't actually click on her, is what I would imagine. Okay, just hop in whenever. I'll be in Teepsy. That's how I imagine it would be. So if you had like Leshrac stun, you could stun her, or Sven stun, AoE stun her. But you just can't click on her. That's my guess. He was clicking on her? What? That doesn't sound like untargetable then. That probably isn't how it should be.
Connected. Channel switched.
Alright. Guide system upgrade, don't care. Turbo mode, Dota Turbo has been added. This new game mode. Oh, they added easy mode. Oh, they added easy mode. Ability draft has been updated with a completely new draft interface, and players can now swap hotkey and chat with their teammate during draft. Oh, they finally fixed ability draft. AA remodel. Don't care. I think it's a bug. A ping wheel with new... Oh, okay. This is some more League integrated things. Blade form, legacy, void pack. Alright, whatever. Don't care. Alright. All pick drafting order has finally changed. So this was definitely expected. With how many people were complaining, it is now AABB. So first pick gets, their first. It's basically the same as captain's mode. So each day, 10 heroes are automatically selected as bonus heroes to their bonus hero. What? What? Why? What is this? What is this? Someone needs to explain this to me. Bonus hero provide you with a free mango on selection? Like, what? This, I mean, I don't think this makes much sense. But whatever. I think this will probably see change. Randoming no longer gives bonus gold, and instead selects a hero from a set of bonus heroes and grants an extra iron branch in addition to the mango. Okay. Kind of nerfs random, I guess. Removed repicking. You can no longer repick. Okay. Laning. Middle lane no longer has an additional melee creep. Alright, thank goodness. Creeps now be closer to each team's respective safe lanes. Okay. Deny EXP granted to the enemy. reduced from 70 to 25%. Okay, so now the off lane isn't as bad anymore. It's still bad, obviously, but it's not like... We might see some solo off laners again for once, instead of like dual lanes every game. Denied XP gained by the denier reduced, so you don't get as much anymore. Neutrals killing lane creeps is now considered the same as enemy creeps killing them. It is not a deny, it gives full EXP. You must deny the creep yourself to deny its EXP. Okay. So yeah, the offlane, you might actually see solo offlaners again, since you can actually get EXP now instead of nothing. Total wave EXP increased. Melee has been buffed. Range has been nerfed. So this is, I guess this is their way of nerfing Lich in a way, because the range creep was just way too powerful for the range creep. And more gold per wave now. Well, actually, it's not more gold per wave. They took out one creep. So the overall gold per wave has been nerfed by like 20 or 25 gold roughly, or something like that. First neutral creep now spawns at 1 minute instead of 30 seconds. You know, that actually helps me, because I'm really bad at pulling. I always mess it up and I pull it too early. I don't have the test client installed, actually. I guess I should. Let me go do that while I... Actually, if I do that, I'm gonna... Alright, wait. Nah, I'm just gonna wait for it. I'm not gonna do the test client. I'm just gonna read the patch notes and wait for the actual patch. I don't want to install the test client. Base hero kill XP bounty for level 1 to 5 is reduced. The non-assisted portion, okay. XP range has increased. Okay, so a lot of these XP changes like really make it so that the offlaner is more doable as a solo again. XP required to go to level 2 is now lower as well, in exchange for more EXP to hit level 3. Tier 1 tower HP increased by 200. Takes a little longer to take down. So laning phase might extend because of this, potentially. Heroes now start with a TP scroll. TP scrolls start on cooldown at the beginning of the game. Interesting. Very interesting. So you... Oh, damn, that changes a lot of things, because you can really get fucked over at the you have to... We're gonna see a lot more fights before the rune spawns, because if you can't TP at the very beginning, you can't scout out lanes if you really need to, which forces people in a lot of different drafts to like walk into the jungle as 5 to find out where people are laning. You need to find out where people are going at the very start for a lot of different games. So I think we're going to be seeing a lot of level 1 engagements before rune even spawns because of this. Shrines no longer exist in base. Okay, thank goodness. The glyph now causes your creeps to be invulnerable for the glyph duration. This is kind of cool. So the early game is going to be a lot more exciting because everyone starts with a fucking TP. Like, you'll actually see people just TP in immediately. Extra siege creep now spawns at 30 minutes instead of 40. Siege creep HP increased. Fix extra lane creep spawning a minute too late. Okay, I didn't even know about these things. Whatever. Lane creeps upgrade now capped at mega creeps. Previously, if a game went on for over 4 hours, it was possible for creeps to be stronger than mega. I remember this. I remember this. I mean, offensive glyphs are not a joke. Like, let's say, for example, you have a creep wave pushing in, a giant creep wave, and it has two catapults with it, for example. And you're taking a team fight elsewhere, and you can see the lane pushing in, and the team fight ends, and someone goes to stop the catapults, but the catapult's already hitting the building. You can glyph it. It's like really, really situational, but it is there is potential in doing so. I mean, this is kind of a minor change in my opinion because it's so rare, but I guess they're preparing for the future. I remember there was a game that went on for that long. It was a C9 game, and their creeps ended up being stronger than the mega creeps. Armor formula is now 0.06 times armor divided by 1 plus 0.06 times armor. Okay. Armor per agility rescaled from 1 divided 1 over. Okay, so you get more armor per agility now. Tier 1 towers armor increased. So laning. Okay, so I mean 200 HP and then 3 armor. Tier 1 laning phase is definitely going to be a little longer. They increased the armor of all the buildings. I assume because of the shrine change, I guess. Filler building armor increased, Roshan base armor increased, shrine building armor increased, everything is increased. Tier 4 no longer regens. HP does regen a lot more now. Rework mid lane for Dire. You can now walk through the ledges without being hit, thank goodness. Adjusted mid lane ramps to be narrower. Okay. Move mid shrines closer to the primary jungle area. Oh, that's so annoying. It's I guess it's more so that it's the same distance from both shrines from the mid lane. Swap offlane shrines to and bounty runes. Yeah, so they're meant to be about the same distance now because of that. Adjusted offlane terrain to be wider. Move primary jungle bounty runes closer to safe camp area, closer to river ramps. Rework Dire safe lane. Okay, I have to actually see this in client because I wouldn't actually. I don't. I'll still read through it actually. Remove the following ward spots: Radiant Ancient Roshan. Don't even know what they're referring to. Bottom Radiant Rune. Dire primary jungle near Ancient Camp. Added multiple miscellaneous tree and line of sight adjustments. Okay, yeah, I actually have to go in the client to see some of these things. I don't even know where they're referring to. I have an idea of where they... of where they're talking about, but... It pulls the shrine away from Ancient, so you can't Ancient with the shrine. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, that's a good point. You can't like pick Sven and clear out camps with one shrine anymore. Well, you probably still could. It definitely helped for a lot of other cores that could do that. Okay, so I'm actually going to skip all of these because I don't actually have the test client. I can't take a look. Third Roshan now drops a single-use consumable refresher orb. Cooldown is independent from refresher orb. All right, don't worry. We'll get to those. But this is pretty damn funny, dude. This is so I have a question, okay? So imagine this situation where you're playing Tidehunter and the game gets to this stage. Is the independent consumable refresher going to refresh your refresher? Because that would mean you could ravage, refresh, ravage, consume refresher, ravage, refresh, ravage. If you have the mana to do so. You could ravage 4 times if that's the case, which would be kind of funny. You could ravage twice and win a team fight, and then get 2 ravages out for when they buy back and end the game. I mean, we'll have to see how it works, but it sounds insane. But when it actually happens, you know, we'll see. It's not exactly easy to ravage 4 times without getting caught. I think like for higher level teams, if something like that occurs, you know, they're gonna be prepared for it. I would imagine. We'll have to wait and see how people utilize this. And if it costs mana, for example, it's pretty much impossible to ravage 4 times, unless you really buy enough mana items, which is kind of rare. Same with Warlock. Warlock not exactly the greatest when it comes to having enough mana pool to do some of these things. Respawn time. So they rescaled the level 1 to 5. It doesn't take as long for the first couple of levels. Level 5 is unchanged. It's like a little bit shorter. Neutrals now sleep at night. They have 0 aggro range when sleeping. Okay, so they added the Warcraft 3 sleeping mechanic back. That's kind of cool. It gives you this is kind of cool because it gives you more hiding spots, I guess. If it's nighttime, you can run you can juke through creep camps without them giving away your position. So this is pretty interesting. Neutrals, wait. Remove special neutral pull aggro exceptions for heroes. On Chaos Knight, Earth Spirit. Oh, okay, so this is to prevent people from doing like ridiculous lane pulls. This is their fix for it. Neutral lane creep aggro is now based on which neutral spawn area they're in, enabled for traditional safe lane, off lane pull camps. Captain's mode now has an extra ban in the first phase. There are now 6 bans in total. Interesting. This is like a pretty big deal because when people figure out the meta and heroes become solidified in the meta, this provides more variety by having 6 bans rather than 5. So this is a pretty big change too. Illusions now deal 80% less to Roshan rather than dying instantly. Illusions now benefit from health and mana regen. And Roshan slam damage now increased. Wow. So this is a lot. So I don't know if you guys haven't played Dota for, you know, like me since the beginning of time, like a lot of these changes are reverting back to like the Warcraft 3 mechanics. Because Chaos Knight used to be one of my favorite heroes in Dota because of the fact that Phantasm worked on Roshan. So you can solo Roshan the moment you got, you know, a couple levels in your Phantasm. But they did 100% damage, not 80% less damage. So it's nice to see that it does something at least, but illusion heroes don't exactly benefit that much from it. It's very little damage. So fountain damage, okay, whatever. Fountain regen has now gone to 6% instead of a 4% plus 14. I didn't even know it was 4% plus 14 mana, by the way. So this is kind of like a nerf to some heroes and a buff to some heroes. I think Tinker benefits from it, but other heroes don't really benefit from it. I think the flat 14 helps them more than the 6%, but this is kind of whatever in my opinion. You don't have to sit in base as long. So it helps with... I guess this was meant to offset the... I'm in TeamSpeak. I think the fountain regen is to somewhat offset the fact that shrines no longer exist on high ground. So if you want to go heal, it's extremely minor, but still a little faster than what it used to be. And
User joined your channel.
hello. I'm up to net worth right now. Net worth ranking factor. How much the richest versus poorest heroes get from a Cisco changed from 0.75 to 1.25 to 0.7. So it's the poorest person versus the richest is now a little more. It's a larger gap now.
So I think it's specifically for assist cult. So I think what happens is when a hero dies, say there's like all 5 heroes are present, right?
Right.
The poorest hero on the team that got the kill
Doesn't give as
gets
much, right?
No, he gets slightly more.
Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Okay,
So
I see what you mean.
You'll notice the order the numbers come in. So 0.7 for the richest and 1.3 for the poorest.
Gotcha. Okay. Hex can no longer be dispelled, so
Lotus Orb.
yeah, Hex is pretty strong again. Might see Lion more often now. We'll see more Scythe of Ice picked up. I think a lot of people neglected Scythe of Ice because of the new items that block
It
or
also
dispel.
when it was dispelled by Lotus Orb and by other spells, it kind of changed the way that late game Dota was played, right? Because you know, there's legit lineups that are like, oh, we don't care if you like go on our allies with hexes and stuff because we have a lot of dispels. Well, now like hex actually means something. Like you have to position yourself better again. You can't just bait yourself intentionally to remove some cooldowns.
I think while that's the case, we're gonna have to see if there are any changes to Force Staff, because that's gonna be the second answer to Hex is basically Force Staffs. So, all right, UI indication over inventory to show mute state. New option to require stop to interrupt your channeling abilities. Okay.
Mute is like Doom, right? That's
Yeah, mute is like Doom, and disruptor Ags is also mute. Don't exactly know what else does.
Stop. So like that's like S to stop, right?
Yeah,
Like for Ever Center and stuff. That's kind of nice.
it's nice.
I probably won't enable it.
I wouldn't either. I use the shift Q, but I think for newer players this helps a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Especially with Black Hole and other.
Oh, here we go. UAMs are no longer a thing. There is no such thing as a UAM anymore. Mana Break is no longer, but it does not stack with Diffusal. Arcane Orb is not a UAM. Lifesteal is not a UAM. It stacks additively.
By additively, I assume that means.
So I think, yeah, I think what it means is like if you had a 50% and a 20%, it would take the value for the 50% and then add it to a 20% of what you dealt. So if you did 100 damage, you would leech 70. Is that correct? Yeah, that should be right.
Yeah. I'm not sure how to interpret it, but yeah.
I think that sounds like the way it would work. Remove cliffing restrictions. Damn.
That was no. That's to repeal what they did before, where like if you. I can't remember. There was a change with those 3 heroes, right? When you cliffed people.
I'm not too sure what this means. Cliffing restrictions.
I know. I remember Pudge and Venge have it, right? Where if you hook someone on a cliff, they get free path.
They get free pathing, right?
I don't remember what the Rubik Magnus Dark Seer is, but that is it's repealing something they did before because they're changing the way.
They're changing the way cliffs work because they also removed a lot of cliff wards, right?
Yeah, I can't really interpret the map changes. I'll have to.
Yeah, you have to. It's the same for me.
I assume they removed a lot of the clippable areas, and they're just removing that just in case there's some kind of weird interaction with the new map.
And then Roshan upgrades every minute instead of every 4 minutes. Bonuses are rescaled, so it's the same. It's just smoother. Magic damage sources from attacks not being blocked by barrier type abilities. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Huh.
Heroes with turn rates of 0.4 are now improved to 0.5. Yay.
A lot of this just feels like repealing a lot of the Warcraft 3 engine.
Yeah. You can now see mana regeneration values on enemies. Before you can only see HP regen. That's kind of cool.
And look at the enemy storm and be like, we're screwed.
Oh, yo, regen rune changed. It is now, instead of 100/67, it is 6% of your max HP MP per second for regen rune. So this is really, really fucking good for Storm. Yeah. Storm can really go ham with this.
Neutral abilities. They made all the neutrals better, from what I see.
So War Stomp, you can cast more, it casts faster. Thunderclap, cast more, cast faster. Tornado, cast faster. Mono Burn, cast faster. Yeah, everything is just casting faster. Oh, except for Desecrate. Oh god, there's so many cast point reduce and increase. It's like hurting my eyes just reading it. I can't even
It's
tell.
just, you just ignore that kind of change.
Alright, whatever.
Everything's just faster. All basically neutral quality of life. It's better. I mean, this pretty much only affects heroes
Like,
Chen and
yeah. Well, I mean, it might promote.
Master, which you'll see later.
Yeah, it might. It's definitely going to promote more Helm of the Dominator usage.
A lot of I skimmed through a lot of the patch notes. So Beastmaster and some other heroes are a huge meme right now.
Okay, perfect.
So you'll get
Courier now costs 200 gold. Can you explain why it costs 200 gold?
Well, you have to read the whole section. Basically, the courier upgrades itself now in 3 minutes.
Oh.
The other significant thing is you can't buy more than one. So, I mean, sometimes I thought it was handy to actually have more than one courier, but now you can't feed couriers repeatedly, which I guess.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of weird. I feel like they should add a rule that if the game extends past a certain point, you can purchase another one. Like if a game goes on for 40 minutes.
Eternal Envy.
I mean, it does work. It helps. Like sometimes you need to swap items on the fly and whatnot.
Definitely.
Even with the introduction of
You need
backpack.
to, like, couriers use items again, like in Dota 1.
You probably I don't know. You could actually, but
Yeah,
removed.
Dagger
Oh.
Fires and Arcane Boots.
okay. Side shop has pretty much everything removed. Everything's like removed except for Ring of Protection. Great.
Well, they added a couple of things. So the bottle also comes with full charge.
For full charge, yeah, but well, no, but this is added following items to Secret Shop. It's not Side Shop. So, offlaners buy bottle, maybe?
I think this is a response to people like picking up. These are some pretty significant items in lane, right? Like Orb of
Yeah.
Blades of Attack. But you can't buy phase boots. That's I think.
That's
the
a big
biggest-
thing, yeah, for sure.
The biggest thing.
You can't finish Mask of Madness without ever leaving your lane, too.
You can buy Ring of Protection, which is real nice.
Okay. I mean, this change definitely hurts carries more than anything.
It changes the way the side lanes are played, and the pace, I suppose.
Well, wards are now 80 gold. Ward XP bounty, so this rewards dewarding a lot more. And tangos have been rescaled again. 150 for 5 uses. Smoke of Deceit also costs a little more. Okay, so all the stat items have been reduced in price. Wraithband reduced in price. Everything, all the stat items have been reduced in price. But all the stat items, or the combined ones, no longer give 3 attack damage. They only give 1 to primary attribute. Veil no longer gives 6 damage. Gives 14 int now. Dagon no longer provides damage either. Okay, a lot of small changes. No longer providing damage. Yo, Perseverance lost 10 damage. That sucks.
It was kind of a weird.
It was always like, it's been like that forever though.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to see that go. At the same time, it was pretty random, and those items are pretty good to begin with.
That's true.
But I think the Pers, it does affect people going straight into Lincoln's, going straight into Battle Fury.
Yeah, it definitely slows you down a bit.
Yeah, you'll see there's more item changes as you
Yeah.
go down as well.
So I'm on Aether Lens right now. It now gives you more cast range, way more mana. A little more mana regen no longer gives you spell amp. So Aether Lens is a really good item. It kind of fell off after a while, but do you think this is enough for people to want to use it again? I feel like it is.
Yeah, I mean the spell app was kind of weird to begin with, right? It's
I
such
think
a
so,
small
too.
percentage. And also it affected very few heroes. Like, the only hero where the spell app was significant was like Zeus and maybe Tinker.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Like those are the only 2 heroes that do tons of magic damage, and Pugna. But now it's like more practical for a higher amount of heroes. Keep this item in mind when you see some of the new items that they came out with.
Okay. So Battle Fury got reworked. It will. Do you think this will like change the speed of which you get it? Because you can't pick up a claymore or broadsword to farm it faster now, but it is a little cheaper Does a little less damage. Still does what it needs to. Battle Fury is kind of whatever, in my opinion.
The build-up is larger, so I think there's definitely more potential to get screwed.
To get screwed, right? Yeah, you can. It definitely has that slowdown, but it also has that potential to snowball you faster, right?
And it's cheaper, so heroes will theoretically get it. Say like your GPM is constant, you'll get it about a minute faster because like your carry usually has 400 GPM around that time in the game.
Oh, what? Boots of Speed has been nerfed once again.
Rip boots.
Rip
But
boots.
You'll see another change to
Okay.
the way movement speed works later.
Gotcha.
This game's weird, man. These patch notes are weird. You have to like see all of it to understand. It's like some
All right. So Bloodstone has been changed again. It used to be. It's back to what it used to be, which is the Soul Booster Perseverance instead of the Soul Ring recipe, which I think is the right change because Soul Ring is just too good of an item.
I mean, they changed Soul Ring. Soul Ring got better. You'll see.
Okay.
You'll see.
And initial charges get more. Bloodstone, better item. Flutter duration reduced, but it no longer disables evasion. So Butterfly, I think in my opinion, this is a buff to Butterfly. Desolator, small nerf. Diffusal Blade no longer dispels, no longer has charge limits, no longer upgrades. It is just for slowing down people.
It's
I think this item is.
slightly worse.
I think it's like. I don't know what to think about this item.
Agi was a big part of it.
It
right,
was,
the level 2.
yeah. It was
Like,
so
a
cheap.
good item in late game, and it hurts PL, right? Because PL relies on the extra mana burn and extra agi values. I'm surprised they didn't rescale the
Agi, yeah.
the level 1 version.
Okay, well, Diffusal Blade might see some changes early on. Drums got buffed a little bit. Ethereal Blade got buffed a little bit. Scotty no longer requires Orb of Venom, so this is going to be a lot easier to put together. It's a little cheaper as well.
And very few people kept the Orb of Venom until that stage of the game anyway.
Yeah. Alright, Force Staff got nerfed a little bit. Increased cooldown, that's it. I still feel like Force Staff is ridiculously powerful, so nothing new there. Glimmer Cape can no longer be disassembled. Wait, what was that?
Press F for the glory days of the Force.
Yeah. Dude, Force Staff
The Midas into
has
Force
been
Staff on every hero.
has always been insane. I mean, repositioning in general has always been just super powerful in all these games.
It's been even more valuable to have more than one as well now.
Yeah. Dude, you remember when Force Staff was first introduced? It worked in Chronosphere and everything, so it completely killed heroes like Enigma and Void because you can Force Staff out of stuff. Hurricane Pike now requires a Wraith Band instead of 500 gold. Does that mean the stats are the same? It just requires the Wraith Band? I think that's
Yeah,
the
but they
case.
also changed Wraith Band. I can't really remember.
It's a really small change. It doesn't have 3 damage anymore. It just gives you 1 extra stat.
But they also didn't mention that they changed the stats.
Yeah, so I would have to assume Hurricane Pike is exactly the same, just a different build-up.
Yeah.
Iron Talon has been removed from the game. Iron Talon has been removed from the game. All right.
Bloodseeker a lot, actually. You might think it hurts like Legion and crap.
No, it hurts a lot of melee farmers in general.
The person it hurts the most, I think, is Bloodseeker, because there's this ridiculous thing about Bloodseeker in the current patch that, like, his jungle speed is insane because the Blood Rage applies to the Talon.
To the Talon, yeah. Javelin now provides 25 accuracy. It's cheaper, doesn't give 10 damage. Accuracy proc now deals 100 magical damage displayed overhead. So this thing gives you 25% accuracy, which I assume means that you have a 25% chance to bypass evasion. And it also doubles up as a 100 damage magic proc. I still think this item sucks.
So the proc is nice, but if you actually run the numbers on the accuracy, it's actually like not worth it.
Okay, so
Against an evasion hero.
would this be a legit pickup for a Windrunner? You think?
I mean, you get MKB anyway, but you would never buy this item as.
I mean, that's basically what I'm asking. Is this worth it? Because if you think about it, for the price of a Maelstrom, you could have 2 javelins that can proc magic damage.
My interpretation. Okay, well, first of all, this item is still just simply a build up of an MKB or whatever item, right? But if you run the math on the accuracy, let's say you're hitting a 50% evasion target like PA.
It gives you a 12% chance to bypass it.
Yeah, it's pretty ass.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty ass too, but they had to buff it because it was super ass, like with their previous change to it. Okay, well, Basher, a little more expensive, does more damage, doesn't give you damage anymore.
Moves the damage.
The proc damage is higher, no longer gives you 10 damage, cannot be evaded. I didn't even know Bashers could be evaded.
Someone at Valve is obsessed with item procs. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, probably. Abyssal Blade no longer gives you 10 damage. Bashes can't be evaded. Damage proc increased to 100 as well. Alright, Monkey King Bar has been reworked. Oh god, it's a fucking proc item.
Yeah.
So, Monkey King Bar no longer gives you damage. It doesn't mini stun either. It pierces spell immunity for 60 pure damage. Okay, I think this item sucks, personally.
Every time they remove damage from these items, it hurts heroes with crits. Like, especially like
Yeah.
PA, right? PA buys both of these items, Abyssal and Monkey King Bar. Like, you remove the
Yeah,
damage,
like, what do you even buy now? Like, Abyssal is...
DPS just goes down a lot.
Okay, well, I think this new Monkey King sucks ass. Like, why? I feel like it's so unnecessary to put this 75 accuracy and remove True Strike. But, I mean, this definitely is a pretty significant buff to, like, PA, for example.
Yeah.
Alright, Lincoln Sphere, you can't target yourself anymore. You can't put a bubble on you. Magic Wand. Magic Wand has been changed. It used to provide 4 all stats. It is now changed to use a mango instead. Less stats, gives you some health regen. So Wand is really good in laning phase. Having that extra regen helps a lot.
Now if you random, you already have most of the components, half of the components.
Necronomicon has been reworked. It used to have a mana burn, but now it has purge. It slows and dispels target enemies only. And it no longer gives you intelligence. It uses a different recipe. So it's a little cheaper. No longer gives you int, it gives you mana regen now instead. Do you like Necro?
Practical.
What was that?
Way more practical, right? Anything that gives you mana regen is like super practical, and the strength is also.
This item's kind of interesting because, I mean, it sounds like you can use it on just like strength cores in general, and it's got the utility just for a slow as well as a dispel. I guess since Diffusal Blade no longer dispels and Necro dispels, this is what the new item you pick up for Omni Knight.
I think Beastmaster Lycan.
Beastmaster Lycan, okay. I mean, yeah,
Omni
for
Knight,
sure.
sure, Omni Knight, but Omni Knight's always been that hero where you buy stuff based on the game, and so.
Okay, so this is another big change. Poor Man's Shield has now been removed.
Yeah, that hurts.
That hurts like melee mids a lot, doesn't it?
And it also hurts heroes like Terrorblade that like were able to just borderline jungle without taking too much damage because of Poor Man's Shield. Because the PMS, I don't know if you knew this, there's not really a bug, but like it was proccing way more than it should have on neutral creeps.
I did not know that. I just know it's 100% on heroes, but whatever. I mean, PMS is kind of ridiculous if you think about it. You know, people had to buy Orb of Venom just to bypass it because of how much it, how much it protected you. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot more with all these changes that happen. There's a lot more emphasis on having stable lanes and having like better lane mechanics.
Okay, they nerfed Uv. I think this is a good change. No longer dispels consumables or disables blink. I think that was like kind of ridiculous that it did that. Pipe of Insight. Berry active can now affect buildings. So
That's a meme.
what does that even protect you
Fucking
from?
Blast and this new item that you're about to find out about later.
Okay, alright. Ring of Regen costs a little less. Satanic has his recipe changed, uses Claymore instead of Mithril Hammer, so it's a little cheaper. Sentry wards no longer automatically appear in front of observer wards when buying them. Silver Edge no longer applies enemy damage reduction, so it got nerfed.
I think they have to reduce the recipe cost again.
Silver Edge is just not worth it
Something else
now,
about it.
right?
It's you buy it to disable passives, and it's a huge cost, right? And like, it's a huge cost, and there's not a lot of heroes that want to buy it. Like
Right.
earlier this game or today, I bought it on Terrorblade just because there was a Spectre on the enemy team, right? But it's not an item you would normally buy. And so I guess this is indirectly a buff to heroes like Spectre and PA.
Mm-hmm.
Other pass. Oh, Huskar.
All right, smoke, lower cooldown now. Solar Crest accuracy increased from 35 to 40%. Don't even remember that mechanic, putting Solar Crest on evasion heroes. I just don't remember these
I
things.
wonder if that accuracy increase synergizes with MKB, because MKB is like when the accuracy procs does damage, right? Doesn't that mean that if theoretically you have 100% accuracy on something because of a Solar Crest that you proc?
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, that's worth the test.
Uncertain.
All right, Soul Ring reworked. The new one uses Gauntlet as well as 2 health regen. It's like this item was made for Wisp, honestly.
You lost the mana regen.
You lost the mana regen,
but
yeah.
Arguably, I think this Soul Ring is stronger than the previous, because like health at the early game is so effective, especially like if it's on an item this cheap.
I agree. They buffed. Okay, so then the next thing is they buffed Stout Shield by a tiny bit to kind of replace the PMS. So Stout Shield is still mandatory for most melee. You can't exactly lane without it. Urn of Shadow does magical damage now, but it does a little more damage to compensate. Vlad's Offering now stacked with Ring of Aquila and Basilius. Interesting.
This is the section with the new item.
All right, the Meteor Hammer.
They're all ridiculous.
All right, Meteor Hammer. Ogre Axe, Staff of Wizardry, Regen, Sage's Mask. So it has a very strong build-up. Gives you good stats. Gives you good regen, too. This is really good regen. Channels for 3 seconds. Summons a meteor that strikes a 300 AoE and stuns for 1.75 seconds. Applies a 6-second debuff that deals 60 per second to structures. Wow. You have vision over the impact area for the channel duration. Meteor impact destroys trees. Meteor takes 0.5 seconds to land. So, like, this thing is really slow, but it allows you to siege with heroes that wouldn't normally be able to siege.
It's also interesting because it's a channeled item. And so...
Yes. So, I mean, this is really cool because this is like a really strong item for support heroes that can set up themselves. And it gives them a little more utility. And also,
damage itself is kind of low.
it's still more than what they could normally do, right? Like, if you think about Crystal Maiden, for example, she does nothing to structures. But if you have this item, you can chain it with Frostbite or use it to hit buildings to do something.
I think Crystal Maiden does no damage. Wait till you see her new talent tree.
Okay, alright. Keep moving on. This axe needs to be tested. It's kind of cool, though, for sure.
I wonder if you can rearm it. That's my question. Because then you have this kind of...
I don't think it would be that strong because, like you said, it's channeled, and there's also delay on the meteor.
Yeah, I mean, you buy an Aether Lens and then this item on Tinker stand in front of their tower for like...
Just remember, this thing applies a 6-second debuff that deals 60 per second to structures. It's actually quite a bit of damage, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's 360. Deals 150 to non-structures as well. So if you manage to land it, that's a 700 damage nuke.
You build it on Shadow Shaman. Actually, no, I guess that doesn't really matter.
It really doesn't work, yeah. Alright, Aeon Disc. 2 boosters and a recipe. 25% status resistance. Reduces the duration of effects like silence, so it just reduces the slow values, leaving the damage amount unaffected. Okay. Whenever you take damage and are below 80% health, you apply a strong dispel on your hero and you gain a 2.5 second buff that reduces all incoming and outgoing damage to 0. Cooldown is 100 second. So this is like kind of like an Abaddon ulti, kind of like a Tidehunter Kraken Shell.
You can't do damage.
But you can't do damage, exactly. So this is like this is a really powerful item for heroes that need to get off spells, and it protects you from getting gone on.
Yeah.
So if this is like a really good item for Silencer, for example.
Yeah, it's like crack and shell for supports.
Yeah. So this is, I mean, this is a really strong item in my opinion. It also gives you good stats. Status resistance is pretty good, and 250 health is pretty good as well. So the build up kind of sucks because the recipe is 1750. Buying the boosters is also kind of a waste of the space. It's good for heroes that you make use of arcane boots. You know, you disassemble it later. Buy the vitality booster. The build up definitely is the weak point about it, but
Yeah,
the item.
On a bad and you stack CDR and you literally never die.
You proc this one first, and then you proc the borrowed time, and then you proc this one again. All right, Spirit Vessel. So now there's a new item that combines Urn of Shadows. Costs 28.25, gives you movement speed, armor, regen. Okay, so in addition to Urn behavior, casting on an enemy now reduces enemy HP regen and heals by 70%. And drains 3% of target health per second. And this is in addition to Urn behavior, so it still does damage. And then casting on allied heroes now amplify HP regen and heals. Increases target health by 1% of their current health per second. So this item is pretty freaking good.
It's gonna be weird if you need the charge.
Well, but the cool thing about this item is it makes it so that the problem with Urn is that you really only used it offensively in team fights, and then you used it out of combat to heal people. This one makes it so that every charge is super valuable because you can use them in team fights, and they're gonna do a lot for you. And it kind of has the AA effect on it. So this thing is pretty strong. This item buildup is no joke either. I mean, it gives you everything you want for a lot of support heroes. Doesn't matter which support hero. I mean, the buildup is really good. So, all right, next item, Nullifier. Sacred Relic, Helm of Iron Will. 65 damage, 5 armor, 5 regen. Dispels the target and mutes them for 5 seconds. Anytime a mute target is attacked, it will be slowed by 100% for 0.4 seconds. Apply slow on projectile impact. I feel like this item is pretty freaking insane. It's really expensive, but this is an insane item for a hero like Windrunner, for example.
I think you still buy it as a offlaner or something. It's too the stats you get out of it are too weird for a position 1 or 2.
That's kind of true. I mean, you can buy this as a second item for Windrunner, for example.
You could, but for 4,700 gold.
The problem is the Sacred Relic. It is a very weird build-up. I agree. Well, we'll have to see what it looks good for, but I mean, for the most part, this is if they're muted, what can they do? This is a very, very strong ganking tool.
The reason why I think it's not good on position 1 or 2 is because you're buying it for the active, and
I mean, it's the reason why I say that though is because I feel like it's such a waste to not put the 65 damage to use. That's why.
Yeah, there's a lot of offlaners that could make use of this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is an insane setup tool for a gank because it's a 5-second mute. So if they get caught by this, they literally cannot do anything about it. All right, new item, Kaya. 1950 item. Gives you 10% spell amp. And it gives you 16 int, but it gives you a 10% mana cost and mana loss reduction. So if you're against an anti-mage, this item will make you take more damage. If you get mana if you get mana leaked, you will also leak 10% faster. I think this is actually a pretty good item. I think 10% isn't that significant and can definitely work for certain heroes.
But also I'm wondering on Storm Spirit, does it reduce the mana cost of his ulti by flat 10%? Because that just means you're...
No, it doesn't reduce. It makes everything cost 10% more.
It depends on how you interpret the English, right? Is it mana cost reduction?
No. So you see the mana loss reduction? It has in bracket, it says affects things like mana burn. So I think what that means is if you get hit by things that reduce your mana, you take 10% more. So if you get mana drain for 100 per second, you'll get mana drain for 110. That's how I interpret it.
I'm interpreting it as a mana cost reduction.
I only interpret it like that because of the fact that they put a bracket next to it.
The English. We're going back to English class here.
I'm pretty certain that it just means that mana affecting abilities will drain faster from you. I think that's how it works. All right, regen formulas. Health and mana regen has been reworked. For both health and mana, you gain a direct value. After that, strength and int amplify them. Blah blah blah. Voidstone, for example, provides 1 mana regen instead of 100%. Oh, okay, I see. So now it's just straight up values. It's not even a percentage thing anymore. Stat tool to tell you how much percentage is provided by your attributes and what absolute values of regen plus values are. Okay. Rework mana regen formula to change percentage bonuses like Voidstone to raw bonuses. Each point of intelligence amplifies magic mana regen by 2%. So, okay, so the math is basically just much simpler to do now. All heroes currently have a 0.9 base, but can be adjusted on a case-by-case basis, like HP regen is now. Adjusted various mana regen items. Okay. Items that were 50% give 0.5 now, and 100% give 1, etc. Okay, so this is very straightforward. Heroes just have the battle Fufi. Fucking typo.
I can't really comprehend the math now, but I'm just curious. I mean, every time I see a mana change, I specifically think about Storm Spirit. Like,
I feel like a lot of them will be somewhat similar to what they are now, except for, like you said, some of the int heroes.
The extreme examples are the ones that will get changed, right? So I'm wondering, like, at what point does this become insane for Storm Spirit? That's
true. That's a good point. Well, 2% per int. If you had 200 int as a 6-slotted storm, that's 400%. So you basically, I would assume you basically times it by 4 or whatever flat value you have. Is that correct? I think so.
Something like that.
All right, talents have been rescaled to account for the new formula. Adjusted skills for mana. Wow, Crystal Maiden mana on self sucks. She only gets 4 mana now instead of 8. It got half.
Yeah.
That hurts a lot. Dude, her aura gives you half on her allies too. What?
That's the...
Okay, so that's the talent thing that's coming up, right? I'm gonna assume.
No. I think it's, like 140% of your base. Like 1.4, that's what that means. Like it's not flat values anymore, it's the percentage values. Like you'll notice.
So these are multipliers.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the multiplier.
Alright, well, I'll have to see in whatever.
So the aura on self now means you get 4 times. It adds 4 times to your base.
So Shrine MP regen has been reduced, and they no longer increase as time elapses. This kind of slows down the game, in my opinion, a bit.
Yeah. The HP regen still.
It's still really good, yeah, for sure. Reworked health regen formula. Each point of strength amplifies by 0.7%. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of these, nothing new. I think a lot of these are like the same as before. Talents have been rescaled to account for the new formula. Oh, okay, I see. So there's... Okay.
Every time I see changes like this, it just...
You have to play to see.
The average, like, the average hero won't see any changes, but, like, the extreme numbers, we'll see a lot of changes, right? Like, Alchemist Chemical Rage got changed. And then what about, like, heroes like Huskar or Sven that have, like, insane amounts of regen and strength?
Yeah, it's definitely something you have to play to just
you get to
see.
a point where you're, like, regenning, like, 100 a second passively.
Shrine HP regen from 90 to 75. Shrine also no longer increases time elapses, so shrines are kind of whatever now.
Yeah.
They don't do too much.
So that helps high grounding, especially since they removed the high
Yeah, for sure.
It changes like late game, like especially when Dire would just sit like on their left shrine when they're fighting Roche.
Right, right.
The enemy team would never want to go up that hill like under any circumstances.
That's true. Yeah, now you can actually take the fight. It's not as threatening. You can actually dive shrines and win team fights. Alright, so intelligence mana has been up by 1. All Agi hero base movement speeds reduced by 5. Strength, Agi, intelligence attributes now give a unique perk to the hero if they are the respective hero type, in addition to +1 damage. So strength now gives a 0.15 status resistance. So strength heroes now are more resilient to disables. Agility now moves faster, and intelligence heroes have more magic resistance. This is some World of Warcraft shit right here.
This is some we're RPG now.
Yeah, this is some RPG
if you
stuff.
Think about it. It's there, but it's not huge. Like at 100 edgy, you get 6%.
6%, yeah. I don't think it's very effective.
If you're sitting at like let's say 300 move speed, then you get like 18 more.
Yeah, I don't think it's too extreme.
Slark will become turbo.
Yeah, that's true. So attribute summary: strength now gives 20 health and 0.7 HP regen. And if it's your main attribute, you get 1 extra damage and you get 0.15 status resistance. Alright, so blah blah blah. This is all old stuff. Nothing new. Alright, hero changes. Many new ability specific talents have been added. So Abaddon has now been changed. Abaddon doesn't look like he's too different, right? This is kind of similar to what he had. I think there's some slight changes to his level 15. I don't think that Miscoil heal was a thing before. And I don't think 90 damage was a thing either. And I think the Curse of Avernus...
Was it 500?
It was 500 before, yeah.
Or did it become 500? I think that was...
I think it became 500, yeah, I think you're right.
This is the same.
This is the same. I think the Curse of Avernus slow is new.
Like, most of these talents are small numerical changes. They're not like huge.
Okay, so... I mean, I think they're trying to take out all the... You know... boring flat value kind of things and trying to make them more unique and dynamic so that the hero actually has multiple routes they can take for builds. So Alchemist now has a 50 damage talent. That's definitely new. He also has a cleave talent, which is also new. And unstable concoction has been buffed. I think it was 100 damage before, now it's 200. And you get a base attack time thing or unstable concoction cooldown, which is both of these are pretty good, but I think most of the time you'll probably take the base attack time, right? I think that's like just too good of a talent to not take versus the unstable concoction.
Like concoction cooldown, like if you think about it, like in a lot of games, you're not really right-clicking people to death.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
You could now. I can't really. I mean, base attack time's insane, but like so is stunning people more, especially in a late game scenario and like.
Yeah. Especially since you're so durable, you just constantly run around. And you're really fast too. So
that's for like the Radiance build, I think, and then the attack build obviously like gonna be the Abyssal,
it's true. It's true.
Mjolnir, AC.
So Chilling Touch has been buffed a bit, in my opinion. It actually no wait, that's a nerf. Sorry. So that's a nerf. No longer reduces allies' attack speed. Does a little less damage now, but it applies a stacking slow. Okay, well, I think this is actually a buff. I think you'll get more out of Chilling Touch than you used to.
Insane at laning right now.
Yeah. And
he's gonna be the tri-lane god.
Okay, so this one's interesting too. His level 25 talent is a 4% Ice Blast kill threshold. So I think at level at max level that would be what, 16%?
I can't remember what the.
I think it's 16 or 17 or whatever. But
especially at level 25, where like a kill is like the decider between win or loss.
I think that's a pretty good level 25 talent. Personally, I think I would still take 4 charges of Cold Feet. I feel like that's too good if you were to hit 25. But it's still an interesting change. I think they would have to up the percentage by maybe like 2% more for me to consider it. I think the Cold Feet is better. But Anti-Mage. This is kind of interesting.
Substitution jutsu.
Yeah. This is a doppelganger right here. Uncontrollable illusion. Oh, but you can't control it, yeah, so that's the thing. It just stands in place, I think. 300 blink cast range. Or 30% spell shield. So you can either go really, really anti-magic and not take any nuke damage, or still keep the Mana Void. Doesn't have the Agi talent anymore.
I think the blink talents are the way to go, especially the way AM is played. You're moving around the map a lot.
Yeah. So you think you would take the cooldown reduction and 300 cast range, right?
I think so. Yeah.
I think so too. It's pretty good.
And the Mana Void cooldown.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the cast range can be. That one's kind of hard for me to say. I feel like 10 stats is like so valuable, but 300 range is pretty good too.
It also makes your initiation distance insane.
That's true.
Stage on the game. But the biggest thing I think is you move around the map significantly faster.
Well, the thing is, with the new mana changes, mana regen changes, I wonder if he'll even have the mana to sustain that.
You still buy a Lincoln's.
Arc Warden, I don't really see too much difference here except for the flux duration. I think everything else is kind of similar. I think you would
Was that spark rate damage there before?
It was something. It was something similar to that.
That spark rate damage will kill you in a hurry if you.
Well, you stack 2 of them. That's 750 already. I mean, it's pretty damn strong.
You don't even just stack 2 of them. You stack like 6 of them. 1800 damage.
Naga Arc Warden combo. You put people to sleep and you just stack like 4 of them.
Holy moly. I mean, there's bigger memes, but apparently I have to go, by the way, so
Okay.
I'll be leaving you here.
All right.
Good luck.
Bye-bye.
User disconnected from your channel.
So now we're on Axe. Axe looks... Attacks proc counter Helix. Rolls Helix chance on attacks. What? Yo, this is the age of the carry axe. I would 100% make a carry axe build because of this. I would go 40 attack speed, 30 movement speed, attack proc counter Helix, and I would pick Battle Hunger DPS, honestly. You can go carry axe with this build, I think. Because if you get Echo Saber and Mask of Madness, dude, you could freaking spin non-stop. It makes his 1v1 so much stronger now instead of just an initiation. You can go carry axe, I think. It'll have to be tested, but that's really cool. So Bane can now attack Nightmare targets without waking them up. Nightmare no longer deals damage, and everything is... I believe this is slower cast speed? Or is this faster cast speed? I don't actually remember these values. Enfeeble now steals damage instead of lowers damage. It doesn't... It basically is a instacast... an instacast Razor link. Well, maybe not instacast, but it just doesn't have to static link them forever. You get a 40% XP gain at 15. You can combo this Enfeeble thing for even more damage if you wanted to go right-click Bane, or you can take 75 movement speed. So there's a very, very clear route for Bane now. Bane is like extremely polarized. It's like full carry mode or full support mode. That's what it feels like right now. This is a really, really interesting change because Bane can be played in a lot of different ways now. And a right-click build is pretty insane because if you have at level 10, if you went for a right-click build, let's say you ignored Brain Sap, you would have level 4 Enfeeble and level 4 Nightmare. And level 4 Nightmare is like 7-second sleep. You could steal 120 damage on a level 4 Enfeeble, I think. Is it 120? And then right-click people for 7 seconds. So without Fiend's Grip, you are still doing Fiend's Grip worth of damage without the help of others. So Bane is going to be very interesting to see. Flamebreak projectile now visually flies on an arc. Okay, so now you can see it kind of landing on the ground instead of a straight flight. Flamebreak durations... Plus 2 second on Flamebreak. Burn duration is really good. 50 movement speed is pretty insane. And the Flamebreak cooldown thing is pretty insane too. You can do I think with this flame break change, you can become like a nuking monster in the late game with Bad Rider. Let me take a look at Bad Rider stuff really quickly. So let me launch Dota. I'm gonna go take a look at the current values. But I think with these talents, if you took the cooldown reduction as well, I think realistically speaking, no, actually, I think I would take the flame break cooldown over the Firefly duration. Yeah, I already did the new items. I already went past that. But this is, there's potential for like mid Bat Rider core type of thing where you can play like the role of Puck and do damage as a mid lane core and initiate, but not as burst heavy, just more overtime type of thing. You just keep throwing out nukes, throwing out nukes. Let me see. So Bat Rider is currently, so Flame Break is currently 17 seconds. So if I have minus 13 on Flame Break, that would be 4 seconds on Flame Break. And if I had a 15% cooldown, that's 0.6 second reduction. So that's 3.4 second cooldown on Flame Break with just talents. And if I wanted to go even further, you know, you can buy the Octarine. I mean, that definitely can do damage. If you buy Octarine as well, I mean, you're napalming faster. You're basically napalming every 2 seconds if you have an Octarine and a cooldown reduction. And you just keep throwing out Flame Breaks. I mean, that shit does damage. If you have Flame Break at level 4, that's 7 second duration. It becomes a 9 second duration if you have the talent. You basically have 100% uptime on Flame Break. So carry Bat Rider, very, very possible. Beastmaster reworked. Okay. Wild Axes are now very different. The spread distance have been increased. The hit radius has also been increased. Doesn't cost as much mana. Does less damage. But you can spam it faster. And it places a stacking debuff. It amplifies damage. Wow, that's pretty freaking good. Primal War now causes Beastmaster and all of his units to gain 30% movement speed. Okay, that's really good too. I can see what Wilson was talking about when he was referring to the Helm of the Dominator creeps as well as Necronomicon. Call of the Wild is now a single ability. They have now changed it back to what it used to be, except for the fact that it now summons a random neutral at level 4. This hero is something else right now. Neutral will now select a random neutral from the following list: an Alpha Wolf, Hellbow Smasher, Satyr, Centaur, Dark Troll Summoner. Okay, so basically all the super useful ones. And level 25 now gives you 2 Hawks. You can have 3 Hawks flying around. Dude, this is so much fucking micro. Beastmaster is pretty insane. I think Beastmaster used to be played in mid lane in Dota 1. I think he has the potential to go mid lane again because of Wild Axes doesn't cost very much mana. And they changed Soul Ring to use Gauntlets of Strength. So going Soul Ring is totally viable on Beastmaster if you want to spam out axes. And the cooldown reduction makes it so that you can spam out 2 of them before the regen runs out. So you get full value from the Soul Ring. Beastmaster definitely very viable for mid lane. And now that I think about it, Beastmaster could 100% make use of this where is this item? Nullifier. Dude, you could roar someone and cast this on them or cast it on them after them, and they'll never move for like 10 seconds. And you can also make use of, you know, the stats. Like, you can be a solo ganking hero. I mean, he kind of already was, but even more so. Alright, Bloodseeker. Rupture has been nerfed. Nothing really special about Bloodseeker. I feel like Bloodseeker is still kind of similar. The Rupture nerf definitely hurts a bit, but for the most part, the hero still seems to function similar to what it used to. We'll have to see if people still value that. Track can now be alt-click to alert your team how much gold the enemy has. Okay, that's kind of cool. Whoa. 300 track gold. What the fuck? So core bounty hunter is looking really appealing now too. I think Immortals have run it on in the off lane. It looks really good right now in the off lane still, because you know, you get the space to get farm and levels, you get the XP talent, you have a very high probability of hitting 25 in a lot of different games. And you can basically become a second core, a BKB core, because of this Janata talent. I mean, this looks really strong as an offlaner right now. Bounty Hunter. Brewmaster. Nothing really special about Brewmaster. They kind of reworked the 20 and 25 talent. The biggest thing is definitely this Primal Split cooldown. You can do it much more often in the super late game. But for the most part, Brewmaster, nothing special, I think. Bristleback, kind of same, kind of the same, kind of the same. Everything's somewhat similar, just kind of reworked some of the things, moved it around a bit. I think for the most part, you still take mono regen health, quill stack damage, or... I mean, both of these kind of depends. I would think quill stack damage is, for the most part, the best way to go, but with this Warpath buff, I think, like, going for a carry build is very viable. You can go Warpath damage and regen, or Quill stack damage and Warpath for even more damage. I think for the most part, I would probably take this over Spell Lifesteal, and you can go, you know, Satanic or something like that for a Bristleback carry. But nothing too major for a Bristleback, I think. Spin Web no longer grants invisibility. Broodmother has been completely reworked. Okay, so if you take damage, you no longer lose the pathing buff, so you can still run over cliffs and shit, but you don't get invisibility anymore, and you move slower than before. Spiderlings have been reduced tremendously, but they have 50% magic resistance, so I think that's overall harder to clear out for a lot of heroes. And they also have 8 armor as well, and they also have more regen. And web charges increased to 2468, matches the amount you can place. Okay, so that's kind of a small buff. Overall, I think Broodmother, you know, honestly, I think this is kind of a buff for Broodmother. In my opinion, I think this is not bad. Because if people are trying to kill you anyways, they'll have detection for you. Usually. And if they hit you, then you're totally fucked. But now, if people try to gank you, you just laugh at them from the top of a cliff, or run over the river, or whatever, you know, something wacky. But I'm not much of a Broodmother player, so hard for me to say. I think these talents pretty similar. 200 health definitely for level 10. Level 15 is up for debate. I think 20% cooldown reduction is really good. 60 attack speed is really good, but I think they changed this. 20 spider attack damage is really significant. I think this almost doubles their damage, maybe even more. And if you get the level 25 talent, I mean, you can really split push with Broodmother. So really have to see how people play it out. Centaur, let's see, boring. Plus 15% return strength damage. Okay, that's pretty good. Plus 20 strength. Everything's kind of the same. Nothing really interesting about Centaur. 75 damage, nothing special, you know, nothing new about him, so you don't really have any real great ideas to pair it up with. Return strength, you know, just take the whole right side, seems fine to me. CK, nothing new. Reality Rift now moved to the 20 talent. And more RNG on your Chaos Bolt. Or more Reality Rift armor reduction. I mean, this one's really nice. It makes it so that his late game potential is even stronger, I think. Like, you can annihilate people with this Reality Rift because it's almost like minus 15 or 14 armor with just one ability. And you can't avoid it even if you're BKB'd, so. Alright, so Chen can no longer teleport people. Holy Persuasion is now... Oh, so this is back to what Chen used to be. Holy Persuasion now can be cast on allied units to send them home after a delay. It costs a little more mana. You attack a little further. Test of Faith can now target allies, healing for half the damage values. Always applies max values to yourself. Test of Faith mana has been rescaled, so it costs very little. This is actually really, really cool because with this, I feel like you could actually be an offlaner as Chen. As stupid as it might sound, offlane Chen might be a thing because you can bring utility that's not near. It's not as good as Omni Knight, but it's kind of like that idea because you're gonna be really strong because of the fact that you have a creep, and your Test of Faith will always apply max value to yourself, so you're getting a very high value heal on yourself every single time. You get 20% XP gain, which is really nice. And then you can have a Test of Faith cooldown reduction. So you can be spamming heals out the ass. And I mean, you can become a World of Warcraft healer with this new talent tree. 400 Hand of God heal and a minus 10 Test of Faith. You can get a bunch of mana regen, spam Test of Faith to either heal your teammates or farm with it. And eventually build up to Octarine, get Guardian Greaves. I mean, it's interesting. It's not only about the creeps now, it's about a lot of other things now too. He's kind of flexible, so this is gonna be cool. I'll definitely play him in the off lane just for shits and giggles. See how that works out. Clinks nerfed. Remove strafe now gives you attack speed for 3 seconds. During this time, you will automatically dodge up to 3 projectiles, stepping to the side slightly upon impact. So it moves you. It relocates you if you get hit during the ability. Strafe ends if you lose the 3 stacks. 15-second cooldown. I think this new strafe like kind of sucks. No, actually, it's actually pretty good. Normally, Clinks, if you sneak up on someone, it doesn't take more than 3 seconds to kill someone. So this is very interesting. It makes him a little more defensive. It doesn't make him super vulnerable if he gets caught out. Searing arrows multi-shot. Fire searing arrows on a random nearby target. That's pretty cool. But the 4 strafe stack and duration is pretty insane too. You're basically getting two moon shards for 7 seconds on a 15-second cooldown. So you have an 8-second downtime and 7 seconds of double moon shard. But the multi-shot sounds like a lot of fun. Multi-shot sounds like a lot of fun. You'll have to try it out. Clockwork. Rocket Flare has True Sight, affects wards. This is really cool for dewarding and whatnot, but minus 0.3 battery assault interval. This is freaking insane. Because currently, I think the interval is 0.4 seconds. So if you, with this change, it basically means this might as well be a perma-stun. Like, you actually can't move with this, with that kind of interval. Where is Clockwork? So the current interval is 0.7. So this is about half the interval. Now that I see that it's 0.7, I think hard for me to say. I would have to imagine Rocket Flare is probably better. Other than that, Nothing too special. This is a nice change, I think. 15 strength is really good as a support clockwork. 125 rocket flare damage is a lot of damage. It turns his rocket flare into a 300 damage nuke. Yeah, 325 damage nuke on 14 cooldown. So clockwork, if you hit level 20, you have a lot of farm potential with this talent. Alright, Crystal Maiden. Level 10. 200 health or 100 cast range. Definitely take 200 health, I would imagine. Level 15, you have a 14% mana cost / mana loss reduction armor. This wording is really confusing. I think Wilson might have been right. Does this mean that a 14% mana cost / mana loss reduction armor means that everything costs 14% less? Is that what it means? And then you have a 14%. God, this wording is so confusing. I could have sworn it meant that the trade-off was that everything costs less mana, or costs more mana, but you also take more from mana affecting abilities. It's really, really fucking confusing. I think it's less too. Which in that case is really good, by the way. That's like a really powerful ability. I just noticed this. Her level 20 talent gives her 250 attack speed. That's really fucking funny. Why? Why? Why in the fuck? I mean, I think this is better than 60 freezing field damage, personally. It's just really funny to see this kind of value. Oh, God. I don't think Deso is good. If you have this much attack speed, I think you go for proc items. I like the 60 damage too, more, but you got it at level 10 though. That's the thing, and they took it out. I mean, I think overall Crystal Maiden is going to be a lot stronger now, but she still has a movement speed issue. That's the biggest thing. If she doesn't suck so much in terms of moving around quickly, I think she'll be pretty strong with this, because level 10, getting 200 extra health and then making everything cost less. I mean, it's not bad. Yes, the 15 is good, if we're interpreting it correctly. I think this is very, very powerful. Darkseer gets to Karate Chop at level 10. This is actually a really, really strong change, by the way, to pick up the 90 damage at level 10. Because 12 evasion on Darkseer is kind of shit, in my opinion. Because at level 10, you're really freaking tanky anyways. And 12 evasion isn't going to do you that much. 90 damage, though, is quite a significant amount of damage. So, just by Ion Shell surging yourself, you're going to get in quite a bit of damage. Like, even 2 hits or 3 hits, this is very significant. Vacuum AoE, cooldown reduction, 300 AoE surge. This is very interesting. Very, very interesting. Level 25, you get a parallel wall. Huh. I wonder what the distance is. I'm going to assume that it creates one like right next to it. And it doesn't really specify the distance. At the same time, 150 Ion Shell damage is very hard to pass up. I think the Ion Shell damage is still a little better. But whatever. Darkseer, nothing too significant in my opinion. Just has a little more variety in terms of how you want to build him. We work Poison Touch, targets a unit and releases a poison that splashes on nearby targets, like Ether Shock targeting. So it's like Rasta targeting. Applies a DPS and a slow to targeted enemies. Anytime a poison target gets attacked, the debuff duration gets refreshed. Deals 10, 20, 30, 40, and slows for 14, 16, 18, 20. Lasts for 4, 5, 6, 7. Effects up to 4, 5, 6, 7. Cooldown is pretty short at level 4. Costs 80 at every level. It only costs 80 at every level. And it has a higher cast range. Physical damage. Gets refreshed by the same target rules as a blink. So player controlled units and Roshan. Dude, this makes Dazzle very, very, very strong at zoning. If you get someone caught out of position, I mean, they are not going to get away, I feel. And the fact that he has 60 damage at level 10 means that core Dazzle is possible, I guess. Personally, I wouldn't play it as a core, but because I think actually, yeah, I don't think I would play it as core because I think a lot of these things can still be done really effectively as a support. Like, even if you're support, you could just buy treads and then get 60 damage and it'd still be pretty strong. So this one's pretty interesting. Nothing else really new. This weave armor is pretty cool. This 30 poison touch DPS is actually pretty freaking strong. That's a lot of damage, especially if it's an AoE. That's 70 DPS and a 20% slow. That's pretty damn good if you hit multiple targets, because it's like Ether Shock, and it helps you farm very quickly. If it does 70 DPS and it lasts 7 seconds, that's 490 damage. So you're very, very close to clearing out a creep wave. If you refresh it even once, it'll probably clear out the whole creep wave, but pretty good for farming as well. Death Prophet, 50 damage. Spirit Siphon, 1%. I think cast range is still probably a little better. 500 health, really freaking good, by the way. I find it very, very, very hard to see myself ever taking Cryptstorm cooldown over 500 health. This is way too much health. Exorcism grants haste. This is really good. I think this is better than 8 spirits. This is a very interesting 25 talent. 550 movement speed at 25. I mean, the thing is, it sounds insane, but the way Death Prophet usually itemizes anyways is usually a lot of movement speed to begin with. Like, if you end up going phase Yules, you're going to be moving very quickly anyways, but this is definitely something that will have to be played out a couple times to see how it feels. Alright, Disruptor, 200 health, 40 strike damage. It's really good to have this early on. You can do a lot of damage at level 10 with this talent. Even as it currently stands, if you ever have a chance to play mid Disruptor, like 40 Thunder Strike damage is a lot of damage. And if you, even without the talent, if you level up Thunder Strike instead of what you normally see, which is Glimpse and stuff like that, Thunder Strike is like the highest nuking ability at low levels if you add up all four hits. And then if you combine that with the 4 hits, this is a ridiculous amount of damage. So his talents are really, really cool. I really like this. This is really cool. Once again, I feel like they're trying to take this route where you can... There's a lot of ways to play a hero now. That's where these talents seem to be taking me. Like, if you take the entire right side, you can actually go for somewhat of a carry build, where you're kind of durable, but you do a lot of magic damage. So, and then on the left side, you basically have the support route. So this is really, really cool. Doom no longer has the bonus gold at 10. Has the Scorched Earth heal and damage plus 10. How much is this? I think it's 40 at level 4. Yeah, it's 40 at level 4. So this is a 25% bonus to his Scorched Earth ability. I think this is actually a really good talent. I think it's better than 25 movement speed, personally. And then Devour Gold, I think it's too good. Better than 20 evasion. Doom DPS probably better than Eating Ancients, in my opinion. And 100% cleave. This is also very interesting. But... Huh. 100% cleave. Wonder if there's any way you can pair that up with something. Because most of the time you kind of see Doom as a single target annihilator. 3% Infernal Blade is absolutely ridiculous, by the way. Because at max level, it does 5% over 4 seconds as max damage, magic damage, right? So basically, it does base burn damage is 40 plus 5% times 4. So it's 160 burn damage on Infernal Blade and 20% of your max health as magic damage. So a 3% to Infernal Blade is basically bumping that up to 32% of your max health. So one Infernal Blade will, just by the dot itself, will be around 30 something percent of your life. So you can just tag someone and they'll be close to half health, roughly, with just one Infernal Blade. That's pretty good. I think it's better than 100% cleave. I think, like, picking up cleave at level 25, Doom isn't exactly the best hero to right-click with either. And it's not like you shouldn't really be needing farm that badly at 25. I think it's pretty good if you had something to pair it up with. Maybe you can go for some weird thing like a core Doom with a Darkseer and mid Magnus. Have like a billion cleave. You'll have so much cleave. Once in case you guys don't know, by the way, if you break 100% cleave, your primary target actually takes less damage than the cleave targets. The cleave targets take more damage. So if you had Empower and Battle Fury, for example, you're basically doing double damage to the surrounding targets versus the main target. So it's kind of stupid, but Breathe Fire now reduces total attack damage, not just base damage. This is really good. Reduced it to balance that out. So heroes like... Oh, well, not just heroes like, but heroes in general that buy high damage items, this will be pretty significant. They took away his 75 movement speed talent. And there's a cast point for breath fire now, or breathe fire. It takes a short delay before it goes off. Goes a little further. 2 mana regen, pretty nice. I think 30 attack still better. 300 health, probably better than 40 XP gain. Double regen armor, really good. 40 strength is a lot of damage and a lot of health. Yeah, the cast point kind of hurts, but 0.2 is still pretty low. So it's shouldn't feel too terrible, but if you play a lot of Dragonite, you'll definitely notice it. Added visual effect on Precision Aura's cast, so no changes to Drow, but there is a change to her talents. 20% Precision Aura. This is a huge step up from her previous lousy ass Precision Aura bonus, which was a 6% bonus. She used to have a 6% bonus. Now it's 20%. Let me go take a look at her current tree. So Drow, 6% at level 20. At max level is 38%. So if you hit level 25, it's 58%. 58% of your agi. And if you get the 20 marksmanship agility, that bumps it up to 100 bonus agility. It's quite a lot of damage. Just off of abilities and talent alone. That's 56 damage just from... I mean, assuming you take the 5 all stats. just from talents and abilities alone, you're already giving about 58 damage just from that without even taking items into account. So Drow Ranger is going to give a lot of damage if you go that route. What's interesting is this 50% cooldown reduction. 50 second cooldown reduction, by the way, means that you know what's actually kind of funny? I wonder if Drow Ranger can be played as support with this new talent tree, because if you take the 300 gust duration or gust distance and knockback, and then you take 20 movement speed, you're not that slow anymore. You can gust from a really, really far range, which is basically blink range. And if you take the gust duration, you will also silence for 7.5 seconds. And with a 50% cooldown reduction, gust is basically 100% uptime. You can keep someone silenced for 100% of the time if you keep hitting them with it. So support Drow Ranger maybe could be a thing. You just need to... How would you get levels? Like that's always a problem for supports. You would have to have a very successful early to mid game, because she doesn't have any EXP talents, and she doesn't farm unless she's a carry. Well, the thing, this is the thing. If you have 50% cooldown reduction, right? You can still buy items that give her damage and helps her fight. Like, she's kind of like a 3.5 instead of a 4, you know? So you give her a little bit of space to farm. She can buy items such as Force Staff or Hurricane Pike, so that she has utility, and then she just spams silence. She gives damage to your ranged heroes. Can't really think of anything else right now, but I think there is potential for support Drow. I'm just gonna put that out there. People did it with Weaver. You could do it with Drow. Earth Spirit, 40 damage at level 10. This is pretty good. I really like this talent. I would probably take this over 10 int, considering the nature of the hero. This is very, very strong. 200 rolling boulder damage. This makes your pick-off potential that much stronger. At level 15, it would do... It basically just 100 damage. So this would make it do 300 damage. So it basically triples your rolling boulder damage. And this is very nice. 1 extra stun duration, or you can save allies, is also very nice. So Earth Spirit has some nice changes going for him. Blink, Sheepstick, Core on Drow. I still think you need you still need an item like a Hurricane Pike on her, because she really needs the stats. You still want her to be able to somewhat fight, but a majority of the items that you're gonna build, like you want to build drums on her probably, because you want to move around a little faster, and then just slow down people for your cores to hit, and then make your way up to level 20 so that you can spam gust. Or not spam gust, but have a very, very powerful gust. Earthshaker. Echo Slam initial damage has been removed. Echo damage has been increased. Echo Slam bounces twice off of non-illusion heroes. So this is kind of like the original Aghanim Scepter. I'm really surprised they didn't change his Aghanim Scepter, by the way, because his Aghanim Scepter really sucks right now. But let's look at the talents. More echo damage. 50% magic resistance. I feel like his talents got slightly nerfed. His original talent was like 600 life or something. I think that's better than 50% magic resistance. But Earthshaker becomes anti-mage at level 25, unless you take the enchant totem. I think the enchant totem might even be better. Okay, Elder Titan, this is a slight buff. Echo Stomp now wakes up the target if they take cumulative damage. So you can do some damage with Echo Stomp instead of immediately waking them up. There's now a visual effect for Natural Order. 100% lifesteal. This is such a weird talent. Okay, whatever. Anyways, no, there's no longer 100 astral hero damage. It's just 30 at level 15 instead of 25. So once again, the idea of support and carry is here. You can right click pretty hard, or you can, you know, get more utility out of your talents. That makes Coddle, like high ground heroes, life harder. Yeah, maybe. Ember Spirit, level 10. They nerfed the Flame Guard absorption. They moved it to level 10. No longer spell amp. Lowered the damage as well. It went down to 20, so that's a level 10 nerf. 30 Flame Guard DPS is very, very... Is it very good? Right, let me check this first. Ember Spirit currently... I actually don't even remember what the damage is. So current DPS is 30, 40, 50, 60. So okay, so this is really powerful. 30 Flame Guard DPS is a 50% increase to Flame Guard DPS. So it goes from 60 to 90. But Searing Chain's duration is also very good, but I think for the most part, if you're getting at level 15, around that time, you want to be doing damage. So most likely we'll be taking Flame Guard DPS, speeds up your farm as well. Level 20, you get True Strike. So dealing with evasion, I feel like this is nothing special, simply because if you pick Ember, I think there's more potential in killing them with magic damage rather than right click. Yeah, especially with these new 25 talents, this is pretty insane. There's clearly two very, very clear paths you can take. One is the right click damage, which is... This is ridiculous, by the way. 3 Sleight of Fist chain charges. Or minus 25 Remnant charges is also very, very powerful. Because right now the recharge time is 35 seconds. It would be a 10-second recharge if you had this talent. And I think Octarine also affects it. So another 25% off of that would be another 7 seconds off of it, I think. I'm not sure if I'm reducing it correctly, but if that is the case, then it would replenish. No, there's no way that would be the case. It's got to be 25% of the new value. It should be 10 seconds, 25. It should be 7.5 second recharge time. I think that's how it would work out. So Ember has some neat changes here. Going magic or right click definitely will be interesting to see, or a mixture of things, because you could definitely go magic build with Sleight of Fist charges too. Like you could, if you bought Mjolnir for example and you Sleight of Fisted, 5 heroes together, you could freaking bounce lightning everywhere. Just quickly Sleight of Fist, Sleight of Fist, Sleight of Fist. Enchant now removes positive buffs. Okay, this is a pretty good buff for Enchantress. Same. I think affecting Ancients is new, but this is whatever, I think. Okay, so nothing really new about Enchantress apart from the fact that you can dispel buffs on heroes, which is pretty good for dealing with heroes like Sven, for example. Because they nerfed Diffusal Blade, so it doesn't purge anymore, so you can't buy Diffusal as an answer for Warcry. This is one of the newer ways you can deal with it, I suppose. Necro Book is also changed in that way, so you can purge off positive buffs, I believe. Enigma, nothing new. 70 Eidolon damage. That's pretty ridiculous. Because I think right now they do 40 at level 4. Let me see. I think they do like 46 or something. So if you go to Enigma, Eilons do 47 damage right now. If you take the 70 Eilon damage, they do 117 damage. And then you have the +8 Eilon conversion. You can destroy towers. This is like one of the better ratting builds. At least I think it is. Hard to say. Have to test it, but there's potential. Faceless Void. 8 strength, 20 damage, nothing new. 300 health. Or 100 time lock damage is very interesting. Yo, 25% backtrack. They brought his old ability back in the form of a 25% talent. Or Chronosphere AoE. Oh yeah, that's kind of cool. This makes Void like a much stronger carry, by the way, because backtrack is separate from things like evasion. So if you had evasion, it would roll through evasion first, and then it would roll through backtrack. So it's so fucking hard to do damage to him. So I think this talent change pretty much solidifies him as or not solidifies him, but makes him much stronger in the late game. I think that a lot of these are definitely late game buffs to him. 500 time out cast range is really nice. This was a 25 talent before. This makes it so that he's gonna be able to initiate a little earlier, I guess. Homing missile is now immediate. It will find a new target if the primary dies. Prioritizes heroes. Moves faster. Delay is now also longer, but it moves a lot faster. It does a fixed amount of damage. Instead of up to a max, it is now 325. And it takes less hits to destroy. Oh, yo, this is my build. This talent tree supports my magic caster gyro build. Amazing. Alright, whatever. Anyways. Huskar, same, I think. Same. No cooldown in Inner Vitality. This is kind of cool. Your mana pool is shit, but you could fucking heal everyone in a team fight. Kind of cool. Like, you could buff everyone before a team fight starts and just run in. Invoker, longer tornado duration, meteor damage. This is very interesting. I always thought his talents were really boring, and it definitely shows considering the fact that players like mid one would neglect talents all the way up until 25. Like, he would max out the orbs until 21 and then start taking talents. That's how bad, or not bad, but that's how some of the better Invoker players played it. Chaos meter damage, tornado duration. I think there's potential in that. I think the tornado duration would help Invokers set up earlier on. I think. Cold Snap duration, Forge Spirit. I think Forge Spirit's still very, very good. What is Cataclysm? Okay, so Cataclysm is a secondary ability to Sunstrike. Sunstrike behaves as Sunstrike, but if you double tap it, it is like Zeus ulti. It is basically like Zeus ulti, except it can miss. Huh. How interesting. So what would happen if you, like, RP'd 5 people and then Cataclysmed? Would it make 10 Sunstrikes on top of people and then obliterate a team? I wonder how that works. I think in a tight fight, it would be even more effective, by the way. You know, if you have the AoE deafening and you have Cataclysm, you literally become the Invoker from that one custom game. I forgot what festival game it was, but you get the idea. Alright, Wisp. Relocate cooldown has been increased. Max spirit range has been reduced. You can now have a talent to bring out your spirits further or get 60 damage. Tether grants Scepter bonus. What? Tether grants a Scepter bonus. Huh. Oh, Dark Moon, that's what it was. This is really interesting because you know what would be really funny? So I can think of a lot of different things for this. So Wilson mentioned this earlier, and he said that one of the best heroes he can think of for this new Wisp change is Windrunner, because of the level 20 talent and the level 15 talent. So the level 20 talent, right? Attack tethered allies target. So automatically attacks every time your ally attacks. So you focus fire, you're going to constantly attack, right? And then if you tether her, she gets the Scepter bonus. So she gets more damage without needing to buy Scepter, and it puts her focus fire on a low cooldown. And then you have 60 damage as a talent. So you do a significant amount of damage. So if you think about it, that's pretty fucking funny. And you can just immediately melt someone if it works the way you imagine it to. And then 50 health regen is just ridiculous. The tether stun is really, really freaking powerful, by the way. This is basically the old Wisp tether. Where it used to stun. This is really, really powerful because of the fact that it basically replaces the slow and will change the tether into a 2-point-something second stun. You just run circles around everyone and stun everyone in a team fight. IO doesn't have an Ags. Wisp has no Ags, so. But tether grants Scepter bonus to the target. Yes, stunning at level 25 definitely is a lot harder. I agree. I think at level 25, 50 health regen is really hard to pass up. With a couple of armor items and some, magic resistance or whatever. I mean, this makes you a lot more durable. Yeah, so like this tether Scepter bonus is really cool for a lot of different reasons. You basically open up a lot of potential partners compared to the original, the more traditional CK Wisp or Tiny Wisp. Now you have options like, if you were to tether Gyrocopter, he would get a Side Gunner at a very early stage. If you were to tether a Luna, think about this. If you tethered a Luna, you can make her eclipse you as you relocate, untether her, and just go off into an area by yourself and kill him with Eclipse. I'm fairly certain that would work. It would also work with Enchantress. You would give her a super long attack range very early on. You could relocate a Crystal Maiden to a team fight so that she frostbites everyone, whatever. It's just stupid shit. There's a lot of potential for this Wisp combo thing. Wisp Rasta, yeah, that's a very good one too. Wisp's Tiny is also strengthened in the fact, or in the way that you don't need the Scepter anymore. Basically, every time you're tethered, you get a Scepter. You don't need to buy it, so you're always gonna have that bonus cleave and damage. Tethered CD is like 12 seconds, I think. Let me see. 12 seconds, yeah. So there's the possibilities are endless. Oh, Tiny doesn't have Ags anymore. Okay, I haven't gotten there yet. Jakiro. Cast point reduce. Macropyre, cast point reduce. Very nice. Jakiro, very, very nice. Very nice, very nice. Nothing very special. Okay, nothing new. Jakiro's very, very close to what it used to be. Just some slight improvements. I think for the most part, his talents, nothing too significant of change has happened. I think minus 60 liquid fire is probably the newest thing that happened. But I would have to imagine that 150 GPM is most likely the way to go. Because I think Jakiro is still going to be a support hero. Juggernaut, no longer silenced. Wow, Blade Fury. You cannot cast Omni Slash, but you can cast Ward. This is a very, very nice change for him. Wow. So my Magic Juggernaut build is no longer a thing because it doesn't do as much damage. 5 Omni Slash strikes is pretty big. 1 Blade Fury duration, 25 attack speed. I mean, this is kind of whatever. I think the... You can still cast BKB. Is that a okay, I see what you're doing. All right. Really funny. All right, moving on, nothing too special. Monoleak reduced. $200 illuminate damage and heal. Okay. That's a 700 damage heal. Okay. Kunkka is no longer restricted from using Quelling Blade. You can now use Quelling Blade. Ghost Ship Fleet. What does Ghost Ship Fleet mean? Does it summon like 3 boats or something? I don't know what that even means. I wish they put something to indicate what it meant. What does it mean? Please test it and let me know. Torrent damage, attack, Torrent AoE. This is really cool. Once again, goes back to the fact that you can go core Kunkka again, do a fuck ton of damage. It's 3 boats after the first one. Okay. Can you chain stun with it? That's kind of funny. Can you chain stun with that? LC, same attack speed or 50 overwhelming odd hero damage. That's pretty powerful. Proc chance or 60 movement speed. Alright, nothing too new about Legion Commander, except for the fact that 60 movement speed is pretty insane. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous. I'm just not sure if it's as ridiculous as I imagine it to be. Leshrac, nothing new, nothing really new. Everything seems to be pretty much the same except for the level 20 talent. I don't recall a 25 evasion. Lich. Chain Frost is now reflected on initial projectile impact rather than on cast time. Oh, I see. This is like the Lotus Orb thing. Okay. Because it was too easy to reflect Chain Frost with the Lotus Orb, I think. Ice Armor doesn't slow as much early on. It scales now. Does more at level 4, but not as insane at level 1. Ice Armor. Okay, so they removed the Ice Armor to buildings, but it gives you 30 health regen. That's pretty insane. It's pretty good. Yeah, for the most part, nothing too new. Lich is still going to be very annoying. Does Rosh refresh your orb? That's what I was asking earlier. I wasn't sure if it did, because I was talking about like 4 Ravages in one team fight. If it did refresh your refresher. Lifestealer, nothing new. Kind of similar. This is new. 50% open wounds heal. This is new, but I think you still take evasion. Nothing new, nothing new. Okay, this is... Lifestealer's kind of boring. 2% feast is like, in my opinion, garbage compared to the 2-second rage duration. I think they buffed this from 1 second to 2 seconds. So this is a pretty significant late game buff for Lifestealer, but for the most part, nothing really new about Lifestealer. Yeah, he lost his armor talent. That's true, huh? Ice Armor provides 30 health regen. If that works on Ancients or buildings, I mean, that's... Imagine if you had Lich and Treant. Dude, the game will never fucking end. Alright, Lina. 25 damage or cast range. 140 light strike array damage or 300 health. Okay, so this is pretty nice. They nerfed the cast range, but they gave you 25 damage now. And light strike array damage or 300 health. So this is a hard choice to make. You either farm faster or you get 300 life. Fiery Soul is now moved to 20, but it'll nerf the rate. And 25 is the attack range. So nothing too special about Lina. She just becomes a right clicker a little earlier, I believe. Oh, that's true, huh? The MKB nerf. God, the MKB is so shit. Alright, Lion. 75 damage or 75 cast range. 200 Finger of Death damage or 90 GPM. 500 health or 2 multi-drain. 325 AoE Hex or 1000 Earth Spike range. 1000 Earth Spike range. You could fucking stun people from 1600 range. What is it? No, it's even further than that. What is Lion's Earth Spike range? It doesn't even tell you on the tooltip. Nice game. Time to go to demo. Let me go into demo really quickly. I'm pretty sure the Earth Spike range is about 650 or 700. Oh, not even. So it goes about 700 range, but it the cast, if you target someone, it's only like 400 range for cast. You know, when you have Aether Lens, the range goes like way further. If you have 1000 range on this, you can actually stun someone from tier 2 to tier 1 tower, roughly. I think that's how far it would be. But I think the AoE Hex is much cooler. You could go core mid Lion and pair it up with Darkseer. I think it would be totally viable. Because I think Finger Vacuum is not very, like... It's definitely legit, but Lion didn't have that... doesn't really have the ability to become core very well. But with 500 life and an early 200 Finger of Death damage, I think it's totally viable. Or, not totally viable, but there's a potential for him to get, you know... Treads, Blink, Scepter, something like that. And... just melt people. Because 75 damage in treads, you can right click people to death with just your own disables. It's pretty good. Alright, Lone Druid. They buff Battle Cry. Attack range. Okay, nothing really special here. More attack speed or Battle Cry. This is actually pretty cool. This Battle Cry cooldown thing. Battlecry grants spell immunity. What? Yo, this is actually really cool. Okay, so this changes a lot. 0 Entangle cooldown is like pretty awful. Because yeah, at this stage it's hard to protect your bear. But anyways. Having spell immunity on Battlecry makes it so that you can fight up front with your bear at the later stages of the game. You don't need BKB at all. Or if you could, if you wanted to, but no, actually, you might still need BKB because you have to remember it's a 5-second invulnerability only. 5-second spell immunity, even with the cooldown reduction, it's still 20-second CD. So every 20 seconds you get a 5-second immunity. It's very, very strong, but not going to make you invincible. But very, very cool nonetheless. Luna, cast range, attack speed, CD. 24 Lunar Blessing damage. That's pretty good. Yo, they're encouraging you to go for the Scepter build right here. You'll perma-stun someone with this. Yeah, it is. Well, no. It's actually not. It's actually not, in my opinion, simply because I think if you want to go for the Lucent Beam build, I think you still take attack speed and Luna Blessing damage because of how much value you get out of it. I don't think there's any reason for you to take cast range, even if you're going for a Lucent Beam build. It's all about your ulti, not about your beaming. Although I could be wrong, because 100 Lucent Beam damage plus the CD reduction is fairly significant. Here, let me take a look at this. Luna very quickly. So Luna Beam is 6 seconds to begin with. The cast range is pretty significant. It's about 600 range for cast range. So you would have 700 cast range on a 4-second CD to do 400 Lucent Beam damage. I guess it's actually pretty viable. You can chase people down for fucking ever. Because it stuns them from 0.8 seconds too, so you can eventually catch up. Yeah, I can definitely see a spellcasting Luna work out. I still think the CD is not necessary though. I think 24 damage is still better overall, but well, we'll have to see how people come up with memes and stuff like that. Lycan Break now disables Feral Impulse. I didn't even know that was an issue. Nothing else very new about this. 3 Wolf Summon is still garbage in my opinion. It went up to 3 instead of 2. Yeah, this patch is like any hero can support or carry. That's what it seems like for now. I don't know. I feel like this is a very interesting direction to take because you have to remember like Luna has always been very one-dimensional, which is a right-click carry. Now she can carry as a magic damage dealer to bypass some of her armor-heavy counters, you know? I think it's just 600 flat, not nighttime related, daytime, nighttime related. Let's see. Magnus speed has increased for the Shockwave Scepter. Nothing really new. I think they took out Spell Amp in return for this reverse polarity, and they moved the Empower to level 25. So nothing too special here, I think. Medusa Stone Gaze slow no longer continues to affect targets after they turn away, so that's a nerf. Can now be reapplied if it wears off if the target continues. Split Shot is now a passive. It is now rescaled to 3, and it now rescaled to, okay, so low level Split Shot sucks ass now. Split Shot no longer reduces damage for your primary target, so you do 100. Now uses your attack rate plus 100 rather than a fixed 700. So Split Shot now goes a little further than it used to. So if you end up buying items that increase your range, it will still reach further. So in my opinion, that is a buff. So overall, I think this is a good change for Medusa. As long as you can toggle, not as long as you toggle, but since the primary target still takes 100% damage, this is definitely a buff for late game Medusa. Overall, yeah. And then talent, straightforward. They buffed. This isn't the stun duration. Okay, so they made it so that it lasts longer or you take 800 mana. This is a no-brainer. I think you always take 800 mana. Okay, so level 25. You can have 7 split shot targets, which is 10 targets in total. Or you can have modifiers. I'm almost 100% certain modifiers is better. Like 100% certain this is better. Because people are already buying Mjolnir if you have this, you have a chance to proc Mjolnir on 4 targets instead of 1. So I'm almost 100% certain that modifier is better. Not only that, but you can also buy lifesteal, and you can buy stuff like lifesteal and lifesteal from 4 targets at the same time. As an example, this is a pretty insane item. AoE mana burn, sure, whatever you want. I think this is a very, very big buff to her late game potential. They gave her more mana, and modifier works on split shot, and split shot does 100% damage on primary targets. So overall, very powerful. They buffed Meepo, 700 life, 40 damage. It's what? Dude, Meepo does so much damage. Oh, so that's how the wording works? Okay, that makes sense. That's cool. It's a mana break protector is what it is. I did not... That was worded so poorly. Rework Leap. It has 3 charges. Leap 550 per charge. Grant you movement and attack speed for 2 seconds. Leap bonus only applies to Marana. Dude, what? You can go fucking hyper speed with triple leap. Double arrow, leap attack speed, -5 arrow, cooldown. Okay, so now the cooldown for this actually seems to make sense. I think at level 25 you probably take this. So having the Sacred Arrow cooldown reduction is probably better than the 100 leap attack speed because it only lasts 2 seconds. I think this is the way to go. 25 mana break. This is a very interesting talent. Very interesting talent. Hard to say if this is a... I guess this is them trying to give you a reason to take the 100 leap attack speed. Well, whatever the case is, we'll have to... this is definitely something you have to play to find out. I think it's too many theoreticals here. Monkey King, reduced base damage. Jingu, rescaled. Weaker at lower levels. No longer towards the street. Oh, I didn't even know this was a thing. Tree Dance Vision. Oh, so they're trying to bring him back as a support. I see what you mean. 6 seconds. Yeah, that's true. Yo, how does this work? Someone needs to test this. 1 extra ring or 100 armor? What does the 100 ring mean? And by having the Tree Dance Vision and cast range, they're trying to bring back support. I'm just curious about this command ring. This is... The ring is bigger? Okay. That's still pretty good. I think for late game is better than 100 armor. 100 armor seems... Fuck, I don't actually know. I have to test this. 100 armor is pretty much like immunity to physical damage. Morphling has been reworked. Interesting. Okay, so less intelligence. Morph has now been renamed to Attribute Shift. Attribute Shift is rescaled to 1/4/10/25, so lower levels is fucking garbage. It now costs no mana though. Adaptive Strike is now 2 abilities. One that deals damage based on agility, and one that stuns, knocks back based on strength. When one is cast, the other goes into cooldown for 3 seconds. Dude, that's sick. You can go supportling and still do damage if you swap around. Like, you can initiate with the stun and then start swapping because it swaps at 25 rate per tick. So you can stun and then start morphing down and still do damage. Stun duration has been rescaled. It doesn't stun them for half a year anymore. Stuns them for 3 seconds now. Knockback strength has been increased. Removed the scepter. Replaced replicate with a new ultimate. Morph. Changes your hero to match target enemy. Copies target's visual model, basic abilities, base movement speed, attack range, attributes. Applies a soft dispel on transformation. If you die during this, Morphling dies. So now, waveform attacks targets. Does that mean you can attack during waveforming? What? Alright, whatever. Anyways. Morph can target allies. And multi-shot adaptive strike. That's pretty funny. So if you can target allies with your morph, like what are some ridiculous combinations you can come up with? Become enemy carry for nothing. Oh yeah, that's true. You can easily go support Morphling. It applies an attack when it hits. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. Oh, that's actually really cool. It makes it so that like things like Scotty get good value. Because you'll basically slow them as you pass through them, like all of them. That's really cool. This is something that will have to be played and tested. But support Morphling seems like the most value here, in my opinion. You still get a good stun, and there's no cost for morphing, so you can still do damage after. If you need to, you can still do damage without losing mana, and you can just copy a fucking carry or copy your ally at level 20. Or if you have no one if you don't need to copy your ally, just take minus 25 on morph cooldown. My Naga Siren, as boring as she already was. See ya. Don't care. Like, this is like, this is so boring. It's not even like a new talent for a new song. Like, at least something. There's nothing. It's really boring. Treant, 30 damage. Treant's earlier. Sprout cooldown. Okay, so this is also really boring. Nothing special. This is very similar, but they kind of moved things around. You get more Treants earlier on. So, kind of whatever as well. Necrophos. The slow has been nerfed by a little bit. Bonus damage has also been nerfed. You take more damage. Nerfed. Nerf the range. Does a little more damage. Nerf the cooldown. Nerf the mana cost. The 25 talent is kind of interesting. You can have a 2.6 Heartstopper aura, but it's on such a short range. I think the Death Pulse is better, I think. But Necrophos got a lot of nerfs. Yeah, it's just a notes. Night Stalker Daytime Vision is now blind mode. He cannot see shit. 200 mana or 200 health. Cast range or 15 strength. Movement speed or damage. Crippling fear or Hunter in the Night attack speed. Okay, so this is like basically support and carry mode. This is so one-dimensional for Night Stalker. But you can carry with him at nighttime at least. 140 attack speed. Spike Carapace damage return mechanics now work like Blade Mail. Still only returns once per enemy. Does not stun the spell immune. Nothing special. 325 health at 15 is kind of cool. 175 impale damage is also very good. I like this. Vendetta unobstructed pathing or 100 agility. What? $100 agility. What? I always thought the 40 agi was really pretty good. This is 100 agility. But Vendetta. Interesting. Alright, well, what I mean, it's his changes definitely are going to make him stronger, in my opinion. I think this early 60 gold or 60 GPM talent, 300 health talent. I mean, he gets some really good stats with his talents, so. Ogre, cast range or GPM, life or 90 damage, 30 strength or 40 attack speed. 275 fire blast damage. It's really good. Or 90 movement speed. 90 movement speed. But I feel like you still take fire blast damage. I think with this 25 talent, if you manage to snowball out of control, this will annihilate anyone. But he doesn't have any EXP talents, so carry Ogre is very dubious, in my opinion. Guardian Angel, okay, a little improvement. Purification AoE, sounds like garbage. 90 damage or 35 XP gain. Damn, he has some freaking good 15 talents. 20 talents are also very good. 6 mana regen or 12 degen. Both of these are very good. 3 repel duration? What? That's also really good. 3 repel duration would put it at 13, I want to say, or 15. I wasn't even close. Current duration on repel is 7 seconds, so this makes it a 10 second on an 18 second cooldown. So you have 8 seconds of downtime for spell immunity. I think I would take the purification heal, I think. But it's still a nice option, I think. False Promise visuals will now show if the heroes will die or not. This is very interesting. Diffusal doesn't dispel, and Diffusal doesn't remove repel either, anyways. 25, Fortune's End, cast range, gold. False Promise invisibility. Wow, that's really good. If you can get to high levels of Oracle, it's really powerful, but for the most part, I feel like Oracle hasn't really changed too much. That's just my opinion. I'm not an Oracle player, so I don't really know. Diffusal now just does a slow. It doesn't purge anymore. OD, 200 health, 20 attack. Essence chance, 40 of movement speed. I think the Essence aura is pretty nice, but 40 movement speed is really good too. 20 strength is really good over the multiplier. I think the multiplier sucks. The multiplier plus 2 is like really bad in my opinion. Because the multiplier right now is 8, 9, 10. So at level 18, this talent improves it by 20%. Which in my opinion, it's not nearly as good as having 400 extra health. Nothing else is really new. PA gets a built-in cleave or a built-in deso. Gets a built-in mini battle fury or a built-in mini deso. And then life steal. I think you take the life steal. Gets a free life steal as well. 25% blur evasion or 5% coup de grace. Dude, whoa. 5% coup de grace is definitely worth it. You already have 50% evasion. Let me take a look. Where is PA? Coup de grace is 15% chance. You have a 20% chance to crit with this 25 talent. It's very, very good. However, this gives you 75% evasion, which is also really good. PL. Phantom Rush can be toggled to disable. Thank goodness. Actually, I don't even know if that's important. But Doppelganger now adds 2 seconds to all your illusions. That's his ulti, right? Doppelganger. No, that's Juxtapose. Oh, okay, I see. So whatever illusions you already have on the field, if you doppel, they add 2 seconds to it, which is whatever. But his carry potential seems to be a lot better now, because he gets a built-in critical strike. That's actually really good. I think PL is actually not bad at all now with this 25-30% talent. It's really good. Phoenix. Nothing new. This is new. I think this level 15 talent got buffed like crazy. 40% EXP gain and 65 DPS. Before it used to be fire DPS and gold per minute. Now you have EXP gain. So you have to make a choice. Plus 1400 Icarus dive. Does that... Dude, that's a really fucking far dive, by the way. Okay, well, nothing too significant with Phoenix. I think a lot of these are the same. I'm just curious about this Icarus dive. This looks like it would be really clowny. You would jump miles away. Dream Coil no longer does damage on cast. The break damage has now been boosted to a ridiculous amount with Scepter. Dude, Scepter is like core on this hero now. It does so much damage and it snaps on magic immune too. Dream Coil Rapid Fire. Attacks everyone once per 0.6 seconds within range. Wait, what is that? What is Dream Coil Rapid Fire? What? Like what? Gyro? Like Gyro Side Gunner? That's pretty insane. This makes Puck a very viable carry in the mid lane or whatever lane. You can do it while phase shifted, yeah. Interesting. This needs to be tested. I need to see what it looks like. Everything else is kind of whatever, except like, you know, you lead up to it with 10 int, 50 damage. Just a lot of free damage. Meat Hook can now pull runes back to you. Mana cost is refunded if successful. Dismember now pulls the target closer to Pudge. That's kind of cool. This is a nice buff. Pudge is pretty good. Pudge is actually really good. With these changes, I feel like this is what he needed. With spell lifesteal and rot damage at earlier levels, he can farm a lot faster. Yeah. It's pretty solid. I think Pudge will be pretty good as a support once again. Life drain reduced to critical 5 can now target Tombstone. Everything else similar. I think Pugna is still very strong as a hero, assuming everything else isn't like super overpowered right now. It's very hard to analyze how strong people will be until you actually get to try it out. Pugna gets 40% magic resist from his int. Okay. That's true, huh? I did forget about that. The whole stat thing. Queen of Pain. Same. Level 10. Same. So the biggest change that they changed was they moved these 25 talents to 20 and they lowered the values. And they changed the level 25 to have a 1.5 second fear and a 20-second spell block. You know what this tells me? This is the age of Queen of Pain and Puck. You coil people and then you fear them. Easy combo. You heard it here first. Let me see what else is there. Razor moves a little slower. Rework unstable current. The passive movement bonus is the same. Every 5 seconds, a random enemy within 350 AoE will be shocked and gets purged and slowed. So by the way, this change to unstable current is really cool because this is what his ultimate used to be 10 years ago. This was Razor's ability 10 years ago, and they brought it back in unstable current. So you can definitely go for a tanky build now. Get movement speed, get survivability items. You can even go back into the Radiance build, which is what people used to do on Razor, and you just basically hug people and watch them die as you zap them. It's pretty good. All right, Ricky. Enemies in smokescreen have no vision. Very cool. Movement speed reduced by 5. Backstab can now be used in procs like critical, strike, cleave, etc. Backstab has been reduced to compensate. So 20% chance for free 1.5 crit. 900 blink strike cast range is pretty insane. Cloak and dagger doesn't reveal. Oh, what? What? Dude, Ricky is gonna be the ultimate like noob slayer. Ricky is gonna be so annoying. Dude, no. Think about this. If Cloak and Dagger never reveals you, it is going to be so hard to catch him, because ideally, I would imagine, instead of taking this multiplier, I think you take the 900 blink strike cast range. So even if you had a gem, you could still get jumped on from a fucking mile away and die, because he'll blink on you and then he'll remove your vision with smokescreen, and then it's like he's actually a ninja. Like, he just doesn't see you. Or you can't actually see him until it's too late. He has the potential to kill you before you can react, because of that 900 blink range. Because I think his blink range right now is already like 700 or something. Like, it's something ridiculous. Well, maybe not that ridiculous, but it's pretty significant. Blink Strike has 700 range right now, so with 900 blink range, it's a 1600 blink range. You can blink from further than a blink dagger away to catch people. So that's pretty interesting. Rubik Null Field can now be toggled between defensive and offensive. Has a 30-second cooldown when toggled. Null Field AoE has increased. So you can make people take more magic damage or take less magic damage. This is actually really, really cool for Rubik. Minus 35 Fabled attack. This is really good. Cast range is also really good. This is a hard choice. Null Field is also a very good choice for this one. I think I'd take Null Field for this. Wow. 75 Spell Amp for Stolen Spells. This is... Rubik is... interesting, to say the least. This is really cool. Sand King. Next. 50% snow, sandstorm, snow, and slow and blind, huh? We'll have to see how this works out, but doesn't look anything too spectacular. Looks kind of boring. Nothing really special here. Might be kind of cool to pair it up with some AoE ability, but for the most part, doesn't seem to do much. Although, actually, no, to be fair though, this slow might be insane. It might be insane. Could be wrong, but we'll have to see. Shadow Demon. Purge works on Cyclone units. Soul Catcher no longer splits its effect. Only affects one unit in the area. So Soul Catcher has been returned to its old... Soul Catcher has been reverted to its old state. Shadow Poison has been slightly buffed. When an enemy dies under Soul Catcher, an illusion of them is created under your control. It lasts until they respawn or is killed. Oh, Very cool. Very interesting change. XP gain. What? What is this? 5-second disruption banish duration? Dude, you just go take a piss if you get banished. 7.5 seconds banished. Can't play Dota for 7.5 seconds because of one ability. Interesting. Alright. Shadow Fiend. Raze has been nerfed. Raze now has a stack counter for each time an enemy gets hit. Causes an enemy to take 60 more Shadow Rays per stack. Last 8 seconds. Gets refreshed on stack again. First hit does 0 bonus. Next one does 60, 20, etc. So this is kind of interesting. They're really trying to push the Shadow Rays damage build, which is very, very doable in my opinion with this kind of a setup. So you have a 150 Shadow Rays damage and a 40 CDR. You could stack the shit out of Shadow Rays on people if you wanted to go that route. So we'll see some spell casting Shadow Fiends in the future. Be kind of cool. Shadow Fiend also still, you know, obviously has his right click build. 3 damage per soul. This is a free 100 something damage. 20 attack speed, 40 movement speed, you know, all this stuff, good stuff. Like 40 movement speed, no joke, is very, very strong for a hero like Shadow Fiend. So overall, I think Shadow Fiend has been buffed. I actually think 10 spell amp is better than 20 attack speed. Am I crazy for thinking that? With a 10 spell amp, you basically do the same amount of raise damage as before. So you can still farm as fast, and it gives you a little more damage on your ulti. Shaman, nothing really new. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is all just nothing really new. Everything's very similar to before, so whatever. Glaives has been nerfed. I mean, presence on building doesn't seem like it's worth it over 40 movement speed. 40 movement speed seems too good to ignore, in my opinion at least. +2 intelligence steal, -4. Okay, interesting. 30 curse damage, 20% glaives of wisdom, or 2-second global silence. Okay, so this is, they're really trying to encourage carry silencer, as it has been a thing every now and then. Skywrath, movement speed, int, whatever. Seal cooldown, or +1 arcane bolt. 1 arcane bolt is very cool. I think this is really, really good, by the way. Because with Scepter, you'll have 3 arcane bolts. That shit is no joke. Global concussive. What? What does this even mean? Does this mean you can just shoot it off as long as you have vision? This is like Furion ulti. This is Furion ulti, but you can basically gank for people in other lanes. Like, you just fucking concussive them from out of nowhere and then set up for your teammates or something like that. I don't know. We'll have to see. 300 GPM or 600 Mystic Flare damage. This is really good. I think 300 GPM is really, 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 really good. I don't think 600 Mystic Flare damage is all that necessary. Considering if you're level 25 Skywrath, chances are your combo is going to kill them regardless of 600 damage or not. I could be wrong, but I think 300 GPM is really, really, really good. Too hard to pass up. Unless you're just stomping out of control. Guardian Sprint moves at 700 speed along the river. So Slardar moves faster in the river. That's kind of cool to know. River mechanics. Yep, there are river mechanics now. 20 damage or 5 health regen, 300 life, bash damage. Once again, dude, 1000 night vision? What? This is fucking amazing. And corrosive haze can't be dispelled? What? Dude, Slardar is sick. I think we might see offlane Slardars again. This is insane. You know what this is a counter to? If anyone tries to pick Night Stalker, this is what you go for. You go core Slardar and you just get level 20 and you just deny him of Ags. Because you'll spot everything for your team, just as the Night Stalker spots for you. or alternatively, you pick both heroes. And then you have Night Stalker Ags and a Slardar with 1000 night vision. Then you really see everything at night. And the other team is fucked. Fix the bug with Pounce. Slark, blah blah blah. Boring. 150 Dark Pack damage. This is really nice to have. Helps you farm a little faster even though it's level 20. Essence Shift duration lasts half a year. This is really, really good. Much better than Shadow Dance duration in my opinion. Sniper, blah blah blah. Shrapnel DPS, attack speed. Knockback distance headshot. This is like a mini disable, right? It pushes him back like a gust. Assassinate cooldown timer. Okay, this is, in my opinion, this is garbage, but I could be wrong. Someone's gonna find something insane. 6 shrapnel charges, great. Nothing new. No, I think Dark Pack should be able to remove Hex. Someone can test that. Oh, nothing removes Hex? Okay. Isn't that cast time and not cooldown? You know what? Yeah, that might be right. They worded this. They didn't even word this. I think that makes a lot more sense. Because 1.5 second cooldown would be terrible. But if this has no cooldown, then that'd be kind of cool. Like, casting it has no cooldown. It just goes off instantly. Would be very, very... This would be awesome. If that's the case. Desolate now applies a debuff that reduces unit vision. Wow. If you thought darkness from Night Stalker was bad, wait till you see the new Spectre Haunt. The moment the Haunt goes off, you don't see shit. Alright, well, anyways. Other than that, her talents are kind of whatever. The big difference is this. This is a very, very strong mechanic. 70% debuff, 5 seconds of not being able to see anything. And then she also gets 500 health as a talent. This is really strong. 8 all stats. 8% dispersion. This is very strong as well. I think this is better than 20 haunt illusion damage. Spectre is once again looking very, very strong for the late game carry type of thing. Charge of Darkness no longer goes into cooldown when you die. I don't understand this wording. Can someone explain this to me? Does that mean that if you charge in, you die before the cooldown ends, it stops? Or does it just automatically restart or reset if you die? Is that what it means? Whatever. -1 HP regen. Greater Bash, slight buff. 400 night vision. Pretty nice. Charge speed, really nice. 800 health. Okay, so overall, Spear Breaker is still the same, but I think his ramping up is a little better. It went on CD when you died, so if you buy back, it's still on CD. Oh, I see. Gotcha. I see, I see. Storm Spirit, same thing. Same thing. I think this is... Overlord pierces immunity. Auto Remnant per 500 ball lightning. What? Does that mean every 500 mana you spend on ball lightning, you auto remnant? Thoughts on the AD changes? Wait, what were the AD changes? It was just like improved overall, right? I need to test this. Well, because if this is auto remnant, it means that it's gonna place it on the spot. I feel like distance makes more sense rather than mana. 15 heroes added to AD. Oh, that's cool. If it's 500, then that's really cool because you can basically split it out, I guess. It would, you know, what would be really cool is it would make a. I wondered if it would be worth buying a Blink Dagger on Storm. You could like instantly burst someone by zipping in and then blinking out and zipping into him again. You'll basically create 2 remnants, auto attack like 4 times and do ball lightning damage. You'll do almost like 2,000 something damage with it. You drop them while you're zipping, right? Yeah, oh yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah, I think that's what I would assume. Alright, Sven, mono regen, strength, damage. 40 strength on God Strength. This is really, really strong. Stormhammer dispels enemies. Guys, no, your new Diffusal Blade is here. But other than that, nothing really special. Level 25 is a big buff to his talent. Originally, it was like 65 damage or Stormhammer cooldown, and everyone always took the cooldown because it was a 5-second Stormhammer. And then this makes it so that it's 40 strength on God Strength, which is a total of 120 damage, I believe. It should be 120 damage, basically, I think. But we'll see. I think I have my math wrong. Someone can correct me if I am. Techies, buff to proximity mines. Wow, added 1. What is this? Why? What is this? What is this meme? Plus 25 mines movement speed. Wait, what is mines movement speed? You can move your mines? What is this? What does this mean? Can you move your mines? Q mines can stack now. You can one shot. Oh, okay. You can move mines really slowly. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. It's a very cool mechanic, but I don't know if I would take that over 251 damage. Blast off damage, regen, alright, whatever. Anyways. Sonic traps now deal damage when fully charged. Wow. Dealt over the duration of the debuff. That's a really nice buff. This is very powerful. Refraction dispels. And Sideblade Spill paralyzes. If you Sideblade something, they get an Echo Saber proc, basically. They move at 0 movement speed. Plus 200 psionic trap damage? Dude, that's 350 damage on a trap. You can just place your traps all over the place and farm with this shit. Alright. This is going to be really interesting. I think the... This is a really nice buff to Templar Assassin, having extra damage. Terrorblade. 300 Metamorphosis attack range? What? Dude, you're... Why is everyone sniper mode in some way, in some shape or form? Everyone has the ability to become sniper. I think with Hurricane Pike and this talent, you can attack from over 1,000 range. Am I hyped for the grind? I'm pretty hyped for the grind, honestly. I'm excited to play out new seasons and kind of see where I stand rather than just queuing up MMR. And now that the brackets are even more, like, distinct, it's going to be interesting to see where I really stand as a player. I just hope I'm not complete trash, but, you know. Ravage AoE increased by 225. That's a pretty big buff, but it's slower. This is a really big buff. 25% Anchor Smash damage reduction is really strong. Plus 24 Kraken Shell is also really strong. You're very tanky. 250 damage. No wonder why Techie's got 251, because Tidehunter took 250. Overall, a lot of potential for memes here. I don't know how to interpret this. Only time will tell. Timbersaw, Spell Amp, 25k, whatever. 100 damage. 5 rearmor stacks. Eh. What? What? How will you ever catch him without stun blocking him? He's actually gonna chain away like 2,000 something range. That's like a 2,000. If you have a blink dagger, you can instantly jump like 4,000, 3,000, 4,000 range. Alright, whatever. That's interesting. Rearm now affects items in the backpack. Okay. Heat-seeking missiles travel, reduced speed. Mana reduced. Heat-seeking missile mini-stun. Kind of cool. Spell lifesteal, movement speed, cast range, under damage. 8 Marching Machines damage, really good. I think this is a pretty decent buff for Tinker. Alright, Tiny has been reworked. I think this means he attacks a little faster. 1 HP regen. Avalanche does more damage at level 1 and 3. Or no, it was more at 1, less at 3. Tiny agility. 0. He's 0, 0, 0. 0 gain, 0 start, 0. Remove Scepter, remove Craggy. New ability, Tree Grab. Targets a tree to use attacks in 2, 3, 4, 5. Gives you Monkey King range. Deals 25% more base damage to units, 75 more to buildings. Splashes. Affects buildings. Cooldown start after bonus attacks are used. Reworked Grow. Grants you status resistance, base damage, movement speed. Reduces attack. Wow, that's a lot of movement speed. Tree Grab gives you a secondary ability when you grab a tree. It lets you throw your tree, resulting in charges being empty. Proccing your attack on it and splashing 70% of the damage. So you can whack someone to death. What? Oh, okay. I see. I see. This is kind of cool, actually. He's very, very, like, a hero killing type of hero. Like, he already was known for that, but now he's even more so known for it. Because you can basically, you know, Avatos combo and then whack them, and then when they start running away, you just give them the good old tree toss, you know? Toss requires no target. What? What does this mean? Does this mean you can throw something? I think you can throw an invisible thing at someone? Is that what it means? I'm just confused. Oh, no. I know what this means. I know what this means. This means you can fucking blink toss someone to anywhere that you'd like. Alright, this is really funny. You can... Dude. This is like cliffing. This is like... Dude, you could RP skewer someone and then throw everyone into the fountain or some stupid shit. That's funny. Alright. I like it. This is a lot of fun. Okay, next. Tiny's gonna be very interesting to see. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Tree and Protector, XP gain, cooldown. 3-second tree respawn time. Means trees always respawn in 3 seconds. What? This talent is like meant for your eggs. Like 100% meant for your eggs. 300 eyes and overgrowth AoE. Wow. This is very powerful, and this is very powerful too. If you can get him, if you can get Treant to tank up, he's gonna be pretty annoying in fights if he has the farm and levels. Blink toss, force toss, dude. You gotta go deeper, man. You gotta go Shadow Blade in, toss, blink, toss, force, toss, refresh, toss, 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 toss. Fucking play volleyball from someone from the river all the way to your fountain. Let's see. Troll Warlord. Rolling axes. But disabled when unavailable. Okay. Range cooldown. Slow reduced. Range, slow amount buffed. Cooldown buff. Duration kind of nerfed. Battle Trance dispels. This is kind of cool. This is a very nice utility for a carry. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. We'll see how that plays out and how important dispelling is. Tusk. Same old 40%. A lot of health. Ridiculous snowball speed. 12% chance walrus punch. Yo, this is... You know what I should have done? I should have taken out a notepad and started making a notepad for things I wanted to try. And I think Carry Tusk is definitely on the top of my list right here. For good reasons. I mean, honestly, this isn't even that important. You just get a bunch of attack speed and you just fucking 12% punch them. So you can catch people faster with a 300 snowball speed or something. And if you really wanted to do more damage, just take this. Whatever. It's pretty cool. It will ult 12%. That's how I'm interpreting it. I believe it will ult 12% of the times you attack. I think that's how it works. Underlord, Firestorm damage, movement speed, cast range, atrophy, attack speed, health regen. 25% Firestorm building damage. This is very, very interesting. Nothing too new about Underlord. I think this is the biggest change about him. Taking the Firestorm damage as well as the building damage at 25 makes it so that you can actually end the game, probably. Undying, Tombstone rescaled, 30 seconds at all time. 1200 at all time. Spawn rate is lower now at lower levels. Cooldown has been nerfed. Zombie collision size reduced. Decay is slightly buffed. Damage has been slightly nerfed. You like reading my favorite links? Yeah, thank you. My bookmarks. If you guys haven't read Grand Blue, I highly recommend it. Grand Blue is a very good manga. One of the only ones that have caused me to laugh out loud. Let me see. Level 25, you can get reincarnation. That's kind of cool. Plus 3 tombstone attacks. What does that mean? Oh, the durability. Okay. Tombstone on death. Oh, yo, we're Warlock now too. Undying can now become Warlock, guys. Okay, so I think that's about it. Even more so than before, very teamfight heavy. Undying, I think it's not even that bad of a hero. I think this just makes him way more annoying in teamfights now. Ursa, nice regen talent now. This is something he needed. I think it's better than 8 strength. 16 agi, really nice. Enrage duration is really nice. I don't think you need the Fury Swipe duration. And 600 AoE Earth Shock. Thinly veiled porn. No, it's like default folder. 600 AoE Earth Shock, kind of cool though. I think this is better than 14 Fury Swipes damage. I could be. I'm not too sure about that, but 600 AoE Earth Shock sounds fucking amazing. Yeah, I know he gets reincarnation. I already went through that. I already said he becomes a Wraith King and he also becomes a Warlock. So you could basically you can combine this Tombstone on death with reincarnation, and I'm pretty sure. Actually, I don't know if there's a cooldown for it, but let's just pretend that Refresher worked for it so that you can make 4 tombstones. Let's just pretend it works like that for now, because that'd be really fun. Vengeful Spirit. Wave of Terror vision reduced. Wave of Terror cooldown improved. Debuff reduced. Scepter illusion buffed. AoE buffed. Vengeance Aura no longer applied to enemies when you die. Whenever an allied hero dies under your damage aura, an illusion of that hero will be created, attacking the enemy that killed him for 7 seconds. Illusions deal 100% damage. Illusions are ghosts not targetable and are visible known to the enemy. What? This is so fucking strong. Dude, this is insane. This is like the anti-any carry hero. This is crazy strong. -1 wave of terror cooldown or armor cooldown, cooldown damage, 400 missile damage. It's kind of cool. This is really fucking strong. This is like the most value support you could ask for, especially with all the buffs to Wave of Terror too. Venomancer, reduce, dispel gale, blah blah blah. Trash. This is good. Venomous Gale CD has been added to make up for the dispellable gale. Gale hero impact summons 2 wards. This is kind of cool. Because if you pair this up with triple plague ward, I mean, if you manage to fucking hit 3 people, you immediately summon 6 wards. I mean, that's pretty hype. So this is I like this a lot. This is really cool. All right, Viper has been reworked. Thank goodness he's no longer boring. I hope. Reduced. Nerfed his movement speed. Reduces armor. So it's not as tanky. Corrosive no longer slows. The damage has been increased. The attack slow has been increased. Poison attack slows the target and deals damage based on how much health the target is missing. So Nether Toxin has been included in poison attack, basically. Sort of. Hard to say how strong it will be. I know they display the math here, but I still can't visualize it until I use it. So until I see poison attack, I'm going to assume it's pretty good. But not as much damage as the old Nether Toxin. Nether Toxin releases poison onto a targeted area, deals damage over time, reduces magic resist, and applies break. This is really cool. Cast range 2000 projectile speed. This affects the area target on the ground. Does not leave a debuff on enemies. Only active as long as they're in the area. So you need a setup to hold them in place. Nether Toxin silences. So Nether Toxin, if you're level 25 and you have Nether Toxin and you manage to hold people in place, they actually can't do anything. Well, I'm going to say, sorry, I was thinking of muting. Never mind. It's still very powerful, though. Well, you can actually make, like, somewhat of a spellcaster Viper, I guess. Seems like it wouldn't be a bad idea. It also sounds like you can make him into a support from how I can see this. Because he's a very good zoner. And he has utility in his abilities. He's tanky. He's naturally tanky because of corrosive skin. It's still not that... It still allows him to make it difficult to die. Overall, I think that there's a lot of potential in seeing this hero as a support. Visage... Wow, familiars just straight up do 55 damage at level 3 instead of damage charges. I think that will help him farm faster, but it's not gonna. It makes his burst really shitty. Grave Chill gives the buff to familiars within 900 AoE. That's pretty good. Everything else pretty similar. Except for the fact that you can have 4 familiars now. That's kind of cool. How big is 300 AoE? About this big. Warlock, 5% fatal. 125 cast range. 40 EXP gain. Golem on death. Shadow Word AoE. Spell immunity. Okay, so the Warlock hasn't really gone through much changes. I don't remember if he had a 40 EXP talent, though. But if that's new, that's pretty damn good. It's a lot of fucking golems, I can tell you that much. Weaver has a level 10 mana break. Wow, that's kind of cool. 12 strength Shikuchi. Okay, so the level 10 has been moved to 15. Level 10, you now have a 20 mana break. That's a lot of that's a really big damage boost for level 10. Swarm armor reduction or 2 swarm to kill. Really good. Plus 1 geminate attack is also really good. Wow. Triple hit. Very good. Alright, Focus Fire now allows Windrunner to move while attack... What? Shackleshaw now shows an indicator for the mist area. Dude, this Windrunner thing is sick. This looks so much fun. This looks like so much fun. Mega Side Gunner. Yeah, this looks so much fun. Plus 1 Shackleshaw target. At target, I have no idea. 20% mini stun focus fire. They don't even specify how much focus fire it is or how much the mini stun is. The nerfs the shit out of mana regen. They added cooldown reduction on top of the same talent as Windrun. Okay, so that's a really good change because that Windrun was just too good. Check this out. Let me see. Every day we stray further from the god. All right. The Verana regen is not that nerf. Oh, is it because of the new system? I don't know the numbers for it, but whatever. Let's see here. No, I think you still get damage items. You don't need to. You could do that if you wanted to, but I think you just still get damage items. Wyvern 50 damage, night vision, health, Arctic burn slow, Splinter blast 2-second stun is pretty cool. That's pretty good. Nothing too significant to Winter Wyvern. I definitely like that stun change though. That's really neat. Witch Doctor. Death Ward now attacks enemy heroes nearest to the ward on creation. Okay, that's cool. Voodoo Restoration at 25 is pretty insane. Extra Death Ward damage is nice. Death Ward attack range is cool. Cast bounces. Whatever. It kind of wastes the slow. I mean, dude, a 2-second stun is way better than a slow, dude. Way better. Alright, Wraith King has been reworked. Okay, so let's take this slowly. He loses a little bit of strength gain. Mortal Strike is now 15% to 9, 10, 9, 11, 13, 15. It is now always 300. And versus creeps, it gives you 9, 11, 13. This is the... Okay, so in case you guys didn't know, this mechanic, insta-kill creep mechanic, used to be Drow's original ulti. This was Drow's original thing. Kunkka's fleet of ghost ships. Alright, let's look at this. Let's put this for everyone to see. Oh my god, that is so fucking funny. That is great. Oh fuck, that is so fucking funny. I thought that was my biggest question. Is it spread apart enough to chain stun? And that's definitely close enough to chain stun. Okay, so Mortal Strike versus creeps. Okay, so if you kill them in one hit, you get a charge counter. You can cast Mortal Strike to summon skeletons equal to the number of charges you have. 4, 5, 6, 7. They're not bound to you, and they will auto-attack targets they find. Oh, what? That's so sick. Activations requires 75 mana. Dude, you can burst down people so fucking fast with this shit. Oh, only chain stunning if you have a refresher. Okay, that makes sense. That's why I was super confused. No, you're right. Dude, if you have, like, just 4 charges, even, the skeletons do 35 to 40 and 1.2 attack rate, that is probably enough to burst someone down. Skeletons are summoned once per 0.25. Oh, they're spread out. Okay, I see. Which is still really good. If you have vampiric, you lifesteal if your attack dealt enough damage to kill the creep. Hellfire Blast on target will order all the skeletons to attack that target. Oh, that's really cool. Dude, this is Alex's Necromancer build. Raise fire DPS, attack speed, plus 5 max skeletons. Dude, this is some dank shit. This looks like a lot of fun. It's magical Christmas land. They die to anything and are useless. Are you talking about the skeletons? I feel like it has a lot of potential because you summon them on command. So if you are about to jump someone, for example, you just hit the button and you stun them and they start attacking them. 35 to 40 damage is no joke. It's pretty good, but the problem I see with this ability is that you have to build charges, and the charges are based on chance to build up. So you have to fucking kill a lot of creeps to build up charges. That's the biggest issue I have with this ability. Zeus, 6 armor, 1 static field, blah blah blah, 15 cooldown, mini bolt stun, arc lightning damage. This is really fucking good, by the way. Both of these are really good, so they put them together, and then this is really good. Arc lightning, 170 arc lightning damage is really strong. Also in this loadout, allows you to select between different, okay, whatever, don't care. Ability draft, new drafting UI, added heroes to it. They fixed it as well. Alright. We are done. We have gone through this. Holy shit, there's a lot of things to test out. I'm excited to grind the new season of MMR. So I can go where I truly belong. Gold 3. I mean, there are new heroes, but that was like at the very beginning. It's like up here. I looked at the Pangolier, and what I take from this is that he looks like a very good offlaner, because he's durable and he has mobility. He's durable. It gives him damage reduction if he shield crashes them. And his ultimate is very good teamfight utility. You roll around, push people, stun them, and this negates enemy armor, also utility. So I think this hero will be very good as a offlaner. Dark Willow. I think this hero is... So people said that she's like a support hero, but I feel like she could be a puck type of hero. Personally, I think she could be a puck type of hero. Because of the utility that she has. The only major issue I see with her skill set is that she looks very vulnerable. Only Shadow Realm will protect her, so I don't know how effective she'll be outside of, you know, having Shadow Realm protect her. Can he actually offlane? I think so. Look at his first ability. His first ability allows him to dash to a new position, so just by having this, it makes it so he's much more durable. I mean, he can definitely solo and safe lane. I'm just thinking as a whole, he probably would be the best as a 3. I don't think he's gonna... He doesn't look very good as a, you know, as a carry, and because of his ulti, he doesn't really attack right click at all. So this is just a very good, you know, setup, initiating, whatever. Yeah, his Q goes over cliffs. Wow. And when you're rolling, you can do the shield crash and jump over stuff too. Wait, what am I going to the bottom for again? Added support for inverse kinematics to Dota 2 with Broodmother. Check out this video showcasing her body and legs aligned to cliff. Alright, we're watching this, boys. Ugh. Dude, that's so fucking horrifying. Jesus Christ, make it stop. I can't handle this. I'm arachnophobic. Alright. So apparently this works for like every other hero that does that, so Spectre will have that. She'll be walking along walls or some shit. I don't know, whatever. Alright. Good stuff. I'm excited to play. I'll be streaming the patch immediately when it comes out. I am not gonna bother playing Dota until it does. So, if you guys have any questions, better ask now before I get the hell out of here. First hero I want to try. That's a tough one. I don't think it matters. I just want to go through everything. Maybe play one of the heroes that have some major overhauls, like Tiny or something. Can I describe in detail my shower routine? Hair, body. Yeah, that's it. Hair and then body. That's how I do it. What? You guys wash your face? Doesn't your face automatically get washed? How much time on the nether regions? Probably like 30 minutes? No, I'm kidding. Alright. Multicast second. Oh, multicast first pick an AD. I don't think. Yeah, baby. Or am I gonna play turbo mode? Dude, turbo mode is easy mode. That's what people play to learn how to play Dota. Thoughts on six bands? Six bands is really good. It's going to create it's going to create more variety in competitive. So six band, I really like the idea of six bands because eventually, at some stage, people will have an idea of what they think is the strongest at the time, and by having three bands at the very beginning, a lot of that goes out the window. So we're going to see more variety. When the meta starts shaping together, you know? Thoughts on Deny EXP? I think when I mentioned it earlier, I think a lot of it is kind of like a buff to the offlane. It makes it so that offlaners can potentially solo the offlane again, like it used to be, rather than having a dual lane all the time. Okay. I think that about sums up the patch. I will see you guys on November 1st for some sick, nasty Dota. Am I interested in Midas mode? Not in particular. I think I just want to see matches with the new patch as soon as possible. No, I'm not going to do anything. All right, I'm out. I have to go out soon. So I will see you guys later. Peace.